Good morning, everyone, and welcome to FPL Mate, your best mate for fantasy Premier League content for the 2022-23 season. It is early. It's not early, you know, it's 10 a.m. in the UK. Maybe a little bit early to be starting a stream, but I'm just so excited. And I wanted to get going. I wanted to just talk about FPL for a while with you guys right here in a stream, because it's fun and it's what I like to do, and I want to hear what you guys have to say. And yeah, it's FPL day, guys. I'm excited, okay? I'm excited. And I'm sure a few of you guys are very excited for today as well. So we're going to be streaming for a couple of hours now. And then we are going to be streaming again later. Oh, what have I done there? Oh, okay, I've changed the screen. Okay, apparently we're big here for a while. But yeah, we are going to be streaming here for a while, probably for about 2 hours, maybe just over 2 hours, probably until like, I don't know, 12:30, something like that. And then I'm going to disappear off because I'm going to Fantasy Football Fest this evening. I don't know if any of you guys are going to be at Fest. Be good to see you if you are. And then after that, during Fantasy Football Fest, I'm going to sneak away. I'm going to do another stream for Deadline. So there will be an actual Deadline stream as well. But I just thought I'd do another one today because why not, basically. So yeah, I hope you guys are doing well. Let's talk about some FPL stuff, I suppose. That's what we're here for. I better change the view back to the one with my screen on again. Hang on, it's going to do the intro again. Just bear with. That tune always gets me going. Okay, guys. Well, I mean, my team, let's start off with my team. It is on screen now. It hasn't changed at all since I released the video yesterday. So no different from yesterday. There are a few changes that I'm considering, and there's a few changes I'm not considering that I'm sure a lot of people are. First of all, I'm still not 100% sure on Perisic. I mean, you can kind of understand why I'm not sure on Perisic. I just feel like the upside of Perisic is so high. And I think that one position, I think if I'm going to change anyone in my team, it's potentially Perisic to either Reece James, because I have 0.5 million in the bank, and Reece James is that one player I'm scared of. If I was to take Reece James, it wouldn't be because I like him, it would be because I'm just scared of everyone else owning him, and I don't want to play in that way, but maybe it's better to be safe in game week 1. Perisic, is he going to be available for the first game of the season? I mean, technically he is going to be available to play. I mean, he already started a game. What was it, against Roma? Maybe a week ago. So I think he is available, but is he fully match fit? No, we know he's not fully 100% at this point. But if you want to get a player to match fitness, the only way to do that is to play him, right? You know, if you just don't play a player, they're never going to get match fit. And if they, even if you're just chucking him on for 20 minutes. Does that do the full job in trying to get a player match fit? And more to the point, Perisic is a player who I want long term. You know, once he is match fit, I am going to want him. So I don't know if he's going to start or not. I feel like if he does start against Southampton, he's so attacking that he could really do some serious damage. He could be, he could be top scorer, top point scorer of the game week easily if he starts the game, if he plays, 60 minutes. I think he genuinely, it's only going to take one goal, 3 bonus points, and he's suddenly going to be, one of the top players of the game week, without a doubt. We've got a super chat in from Jamie this morning that says, "Morning, mate, loving the content. Just a quick one. Would you double Leicester goalkeeper because of their price or go with someone better?" I personally would go for someone else, just because I'm a little bit worried that Leicester may sign another goalkeeper before the actual transfer deadline. I know there's also a real life transfer deadline, not just our make-believe one that we have, right? But yeah, I don't think I'd go for it, just in case that happens. But also, it's not just that. It's also because you'd be locked into having a Leicester goalkeeper every game week. If no one was, if Schmeichel was 4.5 million in FPL, would anyone be taking him? Probably not. He still probably wouldn't be the favourite. When we kind of look at these fixtures, Brentford at home, yes, that's a fairly decent fixture. But after that, Arsenal away, we've got Chelsea away in 4, Man United in 5. There are some tricky fixtures in there, aren't there? Some of the fixtures are good, and fair enough, maybe just rack up save points. I mean, you can do a lot worse, can't you? But all in all, I'm not totally convinced by this one. I'm not 100% sure. It's something I'd like to go for personally. I think just spending that extra 0.5 just covers you the risk of a new goalkeeper coming into Leicester, but also allows you to have a better goalkeeper that hopefully will get you more points. So it's kind of up to you. It's risk versus reward. It's sacrificing points in order to gain 0.5 million. Is it worth it? It could be, but for me it's not. But thank you so much for the super chat, Jamie. I really do appreciate that. Hope you're excited for deadline. I hope a lot of you guys may be at work right now. Maybe you've just got a little FPL stream on whilst you're at work. Why not, guys? It's a big day. Hopefully you guys are, got a bit of banter going on in the offices and stuff like that as well. I don't know if any of you guys have work leagues. I know I had a work league one year and absolutely smashed it. I dominated it. The one work league year I've ever played, I dominated. Then I moved to a company where there was only 5 of us and everyone was, a real nerd. I mean, myself included, to be fair. But there was none of them really like football. Well, one other person liked football, so it wouldn't have been much of a league. It would just be like a 1v1. But yeah, now we're in the big leagues. Now we've got a mini league, the FPL Mate mini league, which I think there's something like 40,000 people. I think there might even be up to 50,000 people in the FPL Mate mini league now. It's absolutely crazy. Joseph Nealon says, summer holidays equals FPL time. All right, summer holidays, fair enough. FPL Raptor in the chat. What's up, Ross, my friend? There is a Reece James-sized hole in the team. Not convinced by the Chelsea back line. Yeah, I completely agree with you, Ross. And like I was saying a second ago, Perisic to Reece James seems to be the way to make my team, perfectly safe, perfectly right, if you will. But I would only be going for James because of FOMO. That would be the only reason, because I'm just not feeling the Chelsea back line at the start of the season. Everton first game week, whilst Chelsea is still getting to grips with things. Second game week, we might see a slightly better Chelsea, but then they're playing against Spurs. I'm probably looking to jump on Chelsea defenders. If it looks good from sort of game week 3 onwards, I don't really want to start with them, but effective ownership may force my hand in a way. So I don't know. There is a small chance I switch Perisic out for James. I've got 0.5 in the bank. But I don't know. I don't know. So there you go. Right. Why Raya over Ramsdale? This is an interesting question, because I think to make my team slightly more template, what you will probably do is you'd switch Perisic to Reece James, or maybe you'd switch Raya to Ramsdale, right? And that would make my team slightly more normal, if you will. The reason I'm not going for Ramsdale is because I do want to keep one more Arsenal slot open. I've already got Saka, I've already got Jesus, and what I'm thinking is I want to have the option to pivot to a Zinchenko, who, by the way, I think will provide better value at 5 million than Ramsdale. If you're going to go on the Arsenal defence, I'd rather go in via Zinchenko than Ramsdale. So I want to have the option to go for Zinchenko. I want to have the option to go for Martinelli if he comes good. If we see a change up of tactics and Odegaard is playing in a slightly more... I don't think this will happen, by the way, but if Odegaard happens to be playing in a situation where maybe he's on loads of set pieces, or he's playing slightly more advanced, or he's more directly involved in the kind of goal scoring and the first assist rather than second assist, then I want to have that option to go for these Arsenal players. So I just want to keep my options open for Arsenal players, and that's pretty much the situation there. Gabriel and the centre backs at Arsenal, I feel like if you're going to go for them, go from them for the start, because they're going to pop up with FPL returns pretty much randomly, and they're not really going to be affected too much by form, other than defensive form, I guess. But yeah, I'm waiting and seeing on my third Arsenal player, but I think I will get a third one. Not gonna lie, I think they are coming. Mario says, are you not worried about Perisic and Bailey may not start? I'm not worried about Bailey. His pre-season has been so good that I think he has worked his way into the first team. He's just 5 million. It's so cheap, and the upside there is just so high on Bailey in that Bournemouth game. We're talking about the most in form in pre-season Aston Villa attacking player against probably the weakest opposition in the whole Premier League, or it certainly seems like that way going into game week 1. So yeah, Bailey not worried about. Perisic I am worried about, and I kind of said this in my video last night. If I was to advise you guys on whether to go for Perisic or not, I would say No, I would not advise you guys to go for Perisic. I don't want anyone coming back and saying, Dan, I can't believe you told me to pick Perisic, because I'm really not saying that. It's a risk, with a very high upside. If it goes well, it will go extremely well. And it's a risk I'm kind of willing to take for my own team, but definitely would not be putting that risk on you guys. That would be a bit of a, it wouldn't be right of me to put that risk on you guys. So yeah, thank you for the super chat. And hopefully that answered your question. Peter Papanator says, have you tried 2 in midfield? I have not, and I won't either. Just because in the midfield, we often get these players that come into really nice bouts of form. At the beginning of the season, we often see a lot of goals, and also with our midfielders are usually, I know defenders have kind of rocked the boat a little bit, but midfielders are typically the highest scoring position in FPL, so they should be a priority position. Salah, Saka, fantastic picks. Neto and Bailey, they're going to be playing in super attacking positions against weak oppositions. They're going to have more opportunities to score goals, and they get more points for goals than our forwards, and they get a clean sheet point as well. So midfielders are always, your go-to in FPL. So I would recommend having at least 3. I don't really see too many people going for, the 5-2-3 formation. It's the graveyard formation that no one seems to use. And, even if the players that I've got on my field right now in midfield don't work out, I've got that team structure there ready to pivot to the midfielders that I actually do like. So there we go. By the way, guys, I've realised I am not wearing a football shirt. I am not wearing one. So I think we need to wear a football shirt. All right, guys. Maybe we'll help you guys. You guys can help me out with the decision making here. All right, I'm thinking either Nigeria, India, maybe Nigeria or India, or maybe. Maybe this bad boy. I can't see that one getting many votes. All right, let's go for one of these 3. There you go. What do you reckon? United. People saying United. I've got England and Spurs. I haven't got a Spurs one, funnily enough. We have got an Arsenal. I've got England blackout shirt. But no, I think I'll India. People saying India and Nigeria. I mean, I would love to represent but it's all right. So it's between India and Nigeria. So we'll put that one back. India's winning, isn't it? No, Nigeria. All right. Do I represent my own ancestry? I think I do. Yeah. All right. Okay. I'm sorry, India. I love you. You have a great shirt. I'm sorry. In fact, maybe we'll switch it up. Maybe we'll go. I'll tell you what. Let's go India first, and then we'll switch to Nigeria. We'll switch to Nigeria in a bit, because I don't think anyone wants to see my anime t-shirt anymore. I'm sure there's a few anime fans in the chat, but I'm sure no one wants to see that when we've got a lovely India shirt. So okay, India is coming on for the first half of the stream, and then we'll switch it up to Nigeria later on. So there we go. All right, fine. We'll switch it up later. Am I Nigerian? I am 1/4 Nigerian. So my grandfather is Nigerian. All right. I feel a little bit. I feel like we're a bit more ready to go now. If this feels right. This feels right. Okay. So thank you very much, by the way, Aishwarya. Thank you very much for becoming a member of the channel. Members, of course, will, it's easier for me to see your comments if you're a channel member, and you get emojis as well that you can put in. Some fun little emojis, that are related to the channel, so it's all good fun. So there we go. Let's see what's going on in the chat. Is there any interesting questions or topics that we should be talking about? Okay, so someone asked, do I have a league? Yes, I do. The code is like over there somewhere, or there's a link in the description as well. AK says, you ain't Nigerian. I have an aunt which is Cuban. Does that make me Cuban? You clown. Absolutely charming, AK. Thank you very much. No, I'm not Nigerian. I'm obviously not Nigerian. I just said I have Nigerian ancestry, which is true. But there we go. V33 with a super chat. Neto only had 13 games, 1 goal in 2021-22. Yes, that is of course true. In fact, let's go into that, guys. Let's go into that. I mean, This is what we do. This is what we do on these streams. We do a deep dive sometimes. So I'm going to go on Transfermarkt, which is honestly, Neto was my last search apparently, which is one of my favorite websites for checking out stats from previous seasons, positional data. Honestly, this website is just like the most goated website when it comes to not football stats, not stats necessarily, but just for like general information about football players. So let's have a look. So last season, as we know, Neto spent the majority of the season with a knee injury. So thank you very much, Thabo Gamma, for becoming a member of the channel as well. Really appreciate that. And there's another member, Chris Davies. Thank you so much. Welcome members. Thank you so much for joining me. I've set the price for membership as cheap as YouTube will let me, just to allow it to be accessible for as many people as possible. So feel free. But anyway, yeah. So Neto unfortunately did have a knee injury. It ruled him out for pretty much, well, most of the season, really. Even when he came back, he was kind of not in the squad. Kind of only playing a few minutes. So that's kind of what we saw. We saw a Neto who was not really playing much, just coming back from injury, trying to get himself back up to speed. Ollie Brune, thank you very much for becoming a channel member as well. But yeah, so at the end of the season, we saw a little bit of the old Neto coming back. We saw him get an assist against Man City, and he scored against Liverpool in the final day of the season. Benjamin, thank you for becoming a member. Wow, the members are absolutely flying in. Thank you so much, guys. This website, by the way, is called Transfermarkt. I'll put a link. Let me just copy and paste a link for the chat if you guys want to check out this website. It is really useful for checking out these kind of things. So yeah, we saw at the end of last season, Neto getting back to what he does best, which is being a bloody good football player. So so last season we didn't see too much from Neto. We didn't. He didn't play very much. He was just coming back from injury, and that's putting a lot of people off. Quick super chat here from Eli. Says Mount, Martinelli, Patterson, or Bailey, Saka, me. I would probably go for. I'd probably go for Mount. Oh, that's a hard one. Maybe Mount, Martinelli, Patterson. Particularly if that third player, Patterson / me, if that player is going to be going on your bench, then you may as well spend the minimum amount of money. Yagiz Varol, thank you very much for becoming a member of the channel as well. Sebastian, thank you very much to you as well, my friend. Wow, another one. What? Christos, thank you very much, my friend. What a cool way of spelling that name, by the way. Amazing. Right, let's continue. Let's continue, guys. So the season before that, so this is the 2021 season where he did get injured. So we did see him get injured at the end of the season. But before that, honestly, this guy, and I think he was only like, maybe some of you guys will know off the top of your heads, but I think he was like 19 or 20 at this time. So this is the 2020-21 season. He was so young and he was absolutely smashing it. You can see here, guys, in how many Premier League games is that? It was probably say up the top here. So in 31 Premier League games, 5 goals and 6 assists in his kind of breakthrough season, and he was looking really good. He was looking like such an insanely good player. So it wasn't just about his stats, it was the fact that he was so young and he looked so good on the pitch as well. And you can see here, guys, some of these easier fixtures and to be fair, some of the harder fixtures as well. But he was getting FPL returns basically, and he was very, very cheap. I think he was only like 5.5 million at the time, and he was doing very well. So basically, the reason why a lot of people are going to for Neto right now is because we remember a couple of years ago, he was just fantastic. He really was fantastic. And we know Wolves have got some very good fixtures. We know Neto in pre-season. I can't remember what Neto's pre-season was like exactly, but it was something like 4 goals, 2 assists in pre-season. So a decent pre-season for him as well. He was the standout player in Wolves' pre-season. And let's have a look at the Opta stats as well on Neto, because I think last season he actually wasn't too bad in terms of stats. So by the way, guys, if you want to check this out, have I got a link for this one in the description of the video? I don't think I do. Okay, right. If you click on the link in the description of this video, that gets you to Fantasy Football Hub's website, and then if you click on Toolbox and then you click on Opta Stats, then so you can do it that way. Link in the description, then click on Toolbox, then click on Opta Stats, and you can get this if you're a member of Fantasy Football Hub. Right, so guys, let's get rid of corner. We just want to look at Neto, really, don't we? In fact, let's have a look on the. Can we just look on player comparison? Actually, no, I like Opta stats. Let's just put in Pedro Neto. Oh wait, that doesn't work if you put his whole name in. Right, Neto. But I don't want Cornet. Right, that's fine. That's better. So we just got Neto here. Let's have a look at his stats per 90, because I think per 90 it was actually pretty. Wow. Yeah, there you go. You can see. So although Neto didn't have a whole load of minutes last season, what we did see is that when he was playing, the minutes that he did have, as he was getting back into fitness, looked pretty good, right, guys? So he only actually started 5 games last season, which is pretty mad. Hang on, I need to sneeze. One sneeze per stream. That's what we do here. Right, okay, so 3.29 shots per 90. That's pretty good. 1.94 shots in the box per 90. That's not bad as well. 0.39 big chances per 90. You know, these are good stats. And then creatively, 2.52 key passes per 90, 0.58 big chances per 90. So he creates an average of, well, last season anyway, he created an average of, well, basically 1 big chance every 2 games. So that gives you a good opportunity for an assist. And then he would score 1 in 3. So, and it's, you know, I don't know what that would translate to, but it's not bad. We're kind of looking at a return every other game for a player who has just returned from injury. That's not bad in some not great fixtures. So when we take Neto, we put him in some good fixtures. He is fully fit now. Can he take it to the next level? Can he kind of get us, you know, for a 5.5 million midfielder, if he gets a return every other game week, that's a good result. That's a good result. And it is all relative, guys. I know people often say, like, oh my God, I don't know why people pick Bailey. I think he's only going to score 6 or 7 goals this season. For 5 million, you know, you take that amount of goals. And as long as you're owning the player at the right moments, it's a good. Deadly Mantis says stats lie with such a small data pool. I mean, look, I kind of agree with you, kind of don't. That is 465 minutes, and that's not a bad amount of minutes to take data from. You know, for example, in this new season, we're probably going to be taking data from previous 5 game weeks, right? You know, if we're looking to buy players based on the 5 previous game weeks, that is about 465 minutes. So I don't know. Yes. Longer samples of data are better examples of what players will look like in the long term, but shorter data samples can be useful as well, I think. Zane says, are you worried about Neto and Bailey getting injured / bad form early on with having minimal options to replace them at that price point? Good question, Zane. And thank you very much for the super chat. I'm not worried about them getting injured because they're not really injury. Well, are they injury-prone players? I don't know. Look, there's no point in worrying too much about injuries. Injuries will happen. They'll happen seemingly randomly. You can't really control them. So there's not really too much. There's not worth too much worrying about them. In terms of replacing them with other players at the same price point, I do think there are actually a couple of other players at that kind of rough price point. So let's have a look here quickly. In fact, let's go to transfers because it shows it a little bit better. Can you guys see that transfer bit? All right, not really. Let me shrink this down a little bit. Maybe you can see. Is that better? Or have I made that worse? Arguably, I've made that worse. I mean, a little bit more this way. That'll do. All right, okay. So if we go on midfielders at 6 million or less, in fact, I have to do midfielders first and then click 6 million. There are a couple of options that I'm kind of interested in. I mean, we have got players like Harrison, Fornals. In fact, let's just order by, selected by. Obviously, Martinelli is an option there. Lingard, dare I say. There are a few players that could come into form. Ramsey. Who else do I like? Fornals. Gordon. Anthony Gordon could be an interesting one. Almiron potentially. Aronson. Aronson is a looking like a good pick. He's looked good pre-season. Harrison, we've already said. We've got Shrewsbury. Mrs. FPL Mate fans will know all about Shrewsbury. And there is one more that I'm looking for, but I can't find him. I don't know where he is. Where are you? Okay, I don't know where he is, but Rodrigo. Is Rodrigo really that low owned? Rodrigo at Leeds, where are you? Or is he 6.5? No, he's 6. I'm so sure he's 6. Or maybe I'm wrong about that one. How much is Rodrigo at Leeds? He must be super low ownership. Oh, there you go. 6 million, 0.9% ownership. Yeah, so there are a few. There's not loads. I have got 0.5 in the bank, and that is an intentional choice to try and keep myself a bit flexible because, yeah, one potential hole, if both Neto and Bailey both got injured and both hit bad form at the same time, then, you know, that would potentially mud me a little bit. But, look, you know, I don't think you can worry too much about injuries. It will happen, and you just got to take the L, to be fair. Mohammed with a super chat says, Kane or Haaland for now? Love your videos, by the way. Well, thank you so much, Mohammed. I do appreciate that. My personal choice is Kane. Look, some people are going to agree with that. Some people will disagree. But Kane is my guy for the start of the season. Tried and tested. If I take you back to the Opta stats tool very quickly, guys. If we go and look at player stats per... wait, let's hide low minutes players. Is that done? Yes. So, if we have a look at expected data per 90 works, I guess. When we look here, then we can see Kane is pretty high in terms of shot volume. You know, only Salah and Ronaldo are beating him in terms of shots per 90. In fact, per 90 isn't even really relevant for a player like Kane because he plays 90 minutes every game anyway. So let's just do per appearance, and that's going to put him even higher, I think. So per appearance, Kane, third for shots across the whole season. If we take that, by the way, guys, to the second half of the season, then Kane is just absolutely dominating. You know, top for shots on target, third for shots in the box, first for big chances per appearance, first for XG per appearance, second for goals per appearance. What else have we got? He is third for a percentage of expected goal involvement. I can't really be bothered to explain how that stat works, but it's basically, you know, of all of the players on that team, how likely are they to be someone who contributes to a goal? And pretty high on like things like key passes, I think. Okay, maybe not key passes. Big chances created, is it? I know he's one of his, you know, there you go. So in terms of big chances created, he's also second for the second half of the season. So the second most big chances created per appearance. So look, he was statistically, you know, second for expected assists per appearance. Statistically, an absolute machine. So, you know, there are so many good things that I think are going on with Kane that I'm not quite ready to trust the nude boy when Kane under Conte has just been so good statistically. So, yeah, hopefully that answered your question. Habs, thank you very much for the super chat. Do you think Zinchenko is nailed for 60-plus minutes? Yes, I do think Zinchenko, particularly at the start of the season while Tierney's out, I do think he is going to be nailed. So, yeah, absolutely. I do like the Zinchenko pick, to be fair. I do like the pick. So, yeah, there we go. Maybe I should put that Opta stats, because we're going to be using that Opta stats a little bit. So maybe I'll put that in the video description. I'm going to put the... you're going to have to refresh to see it, but I'm going to put the link to that Opta stats tool that I was just using just there in the video description, because I know people are going to ask where I am, what I'm looking at. So yeah, feel free to refresh the page, and the description should have updated now. There we go. Right. Buddy says, please can you help me with the Perisic decision? I mean, I spoke about that a little bit already. Maybe we'll talk a bit about Perisic again a little bit later. So, yeah, I mean, Perisic is just a risk. If you don't want to take a risk, don't get Perisic. That's the simple answer, right? Why not Ramsdale? I also answered that one earlier. Yeah, there are some recurring questions here, right? But yeah, the reason I'm not going for Ramsdale is because I want to keep that third Arsenal slot open. I want to keep my options open a little bit with Arsenal players, to be fair. Harry Holmes says, could you justify your reason for no Martinelli? I need someone to persuade me. I mean, the only reason I haven't got Martinelli is because I've got Saka, and I don't want to triple up on the Arsenal attack against Crystal Palace away. I'm completely open to moving to Martinelli in game week 2. I think he's the best value, 6 million. So if you're looking for me to sit here and tell you Martinelli is a bad pick, I am not going to do that because I think he's a fantastic pick. I just prefer Saka. I prefer to spend that extra bit of money on Saka, and I don't want to be tripled up on the Arsenal attack in game week 1. I'd rather have a little punt on Neto or Bailey and see what I can do there. Mickey says, what do you think about Doherty as a pick? Yeah, it looks like Doherty is not going to be available. It looks like he's not going to be available for game week 1. So in terms of what do I think of him as a pick, not very good. Yeah, there is a slim chance he plays, but I really would not be counting on it. Team news, Conte suggests that he's not quite there. He's not quite ready for the start of the season. Also with Doherty, even if he was fit, the current right backs, by the way, let's make a list of current right backs at Spurs. So obviously that is Doherty, but we also have Jed Spence, who's just come into the team, who's just been signed for a decent amount of money. Young, very talented future star for England, maybe. We have got Emerson Royale, still at the club, so that's 3 right backs. But we also now have Lucas, who so Lucas has been playing, Lucas Moura. I know some people call him Moura these days, but I always remember calling him just Lucas. But let's call him Lucas Moura just to cover everything. We also got Lucas Moura, who has been playing as a right wing back during pre-season. So that's 4 right backs or right wing backs. Even like Japhet Tanganga. Did he go on loan? I can't remember. But if he didn't, he plays at right wing back sometimes as well. So is that 5? Kulusevski can play at right wing back. Is that 6? There are so many players that can play at right back for Spurs that even if Doherty was fit, he would still be a major rotation risk just because there's just so many, right backs, right wing backs at the club, V33, thank you for the super chat, my friend. Thank you for that Neto analysis. My absolute pleasure. With 1 million in the bank with Ramsdale/Ward, would you replace Ramsdale for a 4 or 4.5 million for early 2 million savings? Yeah, so I don't think you need to go into game week 1 with 2 million in the bank. That seems like a little bit much. If you've got that much money in the bank, there's probably some upgrades you can make elsewhere. I don't like the double 4 million goalkeeper strategy personally. That's not to say it won't work. But I just think it's a little bit risky locking yourself into having a Leicester goalkeeper, in a weaker Leicester team, weaker goalkeeper, and being kind of stuck with that. And I also don't like the idea that there may be a new goalkeeper that comes into Leicester, that signs for Leicester. Because if that happens, then the double 4 million goalkeeper strategy is just completely mudded. So it's just a little bit too risky for me. A little bit too risky for me personally. So yeah, I wouldn't go down to a 4 million. I would consider going down to a 4.5, but only if you're going to use that money that you've saved to upgrade other areas of your team. If the money is just going to sit in your bank and do nothing, you may as well stick with Ramsdale, my friend. So I hope that helps. I really do. Grey B says, are people sleeping on Bowen? I mean, potentially. I don't mind Bowen as a pick. I've just found it kind of difficult to fit him into my team, to be honest. I prefer some of the other options. I don't know how Bowen's going to do, to be honest. His pre-season didn't astound me. West Ham's pre-season in general didn't really, didn't make me too excited. And there is that Man City game in game week 1. After that, the fixtures are quite nice. So, I'm not against going for Bowen. I'm really not against going for Bowen. I don't think he's a bad pick at all. But I don't think he's a must-have. So, yeah, he's worth talking about. People are potentially sleeping on him. He's obviously, was one of the highest scoring players last season. What was he? Was he the 3rd highest point scorer last season? 4th, okay. That's pretty insane. Even for 8.5 million, to get 206 points, you take that. You absolutely take that. But of course, guys, you have to remember that when you're picking FPL players, you're not picking them for their total points across the season. We're not making set and forget teams here. We're picking teams for periods of the season, for chunks of the season. We're going to have to play our wild card probably around game week 8. We'll have unlimited transfers game week 16. We'll have unlimited transfers there, and then we'll have another wild card to use over that. So essentially, we'll have 4 completely new teams. We'll have 4 chances during the season. The first one being this team that we've got now, and then we'll have 3 more chances over the course of the season to completely switch up our team. So don't think about points in terms of, how many points is my player going to get over the course of the season, but how many points our players are going to score during this portion of the season, a quarter of the season, if you like. So maybe that helps a little bit, but who knows? There we go. I know a few people are still talking about Perisic. All right, let's suggest some alternatives to Perisic. Okay, so the for me, and I have considered switching out Perisic for someone else. The 3 players I've considered switching Perisic to are Reece James as the kind of safe pick, the EO pick, the pick that everyone is going for, just to make my team more safe, more template. So there's Perisic. There is Trippier. Actually, no, wait. There's 4 players total I'm considering switching him to. So there's Trippier, who's got this really nice fixture against Nottingham Forest in game week 1 that I think could be good points. If he scores a free kick or gets an assist from a free kick or corner, then that could be really nice for Trippier. And the clean sheets always look on for Newcastle and look even more on against weaker opposition. We've got Matty Cash, who I think is a really good option, potentially getting a goal return against Bournemouth. We've seen Cash get so many goal returns against Bournemouth. So that could be a really nice, again, risky pick to go for that could really pay off. And then, of course, Zinchenko as well. If you fancy going early on Zinchenko, don't mind that at all. I really don't mind that at all. Could be pretty good. If Arsenal keep clean sheets, he could be good for bonus. Yeah. So those 4 players. So if you don't like Perisic, I know none of these players are exactly the same price as Perisic, but my 4 preferred options are, options as, preferred. They're not preferred options. They're other options that I like are Reece James, Matty Cash, Kieran Trippier, and Alexander Zinchenko. There you go. 4 players as alternatives that I quite like indeed. Take your pick. Whoever you fancy, whoever suits you. Someone here has also said in the super chat, who's this? From Sue, says, thoughts on Rashford, torn between him and Perisic. Thoughts on Rashford. It's an interesting one, isn't it? I don't know how well he'll do. It could go well, it could go badly. Personally, for me, I'm not going to take a risk. But if I was a Manchester United fan, and if I was an optimistic United fan, I probably would be, I'd be willing to take that risk. But I'm not. I'm feeling pretty negative about Manchester United, to be honest. But I do feel like there is some personal biases creeping in there. Me underrating Manchester United potentially. But I'm not interested until I see something that I like from Manchester United. I'm personally not even going to touch their players. But that's just me. That really is just me. Sebastian says, going with Walker along with Cancelo, 5 million for City defender that seems to have no competition for his spot. What do you think about him? Initial thoughts on Walker is that he's probably going to play 4 out of 5 games, 3 out of 4 games maybe for Man City, as long as City don't sign another fullback, which is good. That's going to be good enough. And I think he will be a good, nice 6-point merchant. And for 5 million, if you get an average of, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 points per game, you're certainly not going to be complaining about that, are you? So, yeah, decent value as long as he's playing and as long as City don't sign another fullback, because there is that potential, isn't there, for City to sign another fullback before the end of the transfer window. And if so, that may mud Walker a little bit. Start to have him a little bit rotated when some of the other centre-backs are fit. Maybe we've seen John Stones playing occasionally at right back. We've seen Nathan Ake playing at left back and Cancelo moving over to the right-hand side. That is definitely a possibility. A game like West Ham, for example, might be the kind of game where City decide to put Cancelo at right and Ake at left, maybe. I don't know. I am fully speculating here. Walker is just a good pick, right? He is a good pick. But I don't think he's infallible. I don't think I'd quite go for him personally, just because of that slight bit of risk. That slight bit of risk attached to him. And I kind of want a player that is a little bit more heavy hitting. I love Walker for his 6-pointer potential, but I really want to go for those players, like Alexander-Arnold, Robertson, Perisic, Cancelo, Reece James, Cash, Trippier, Zinchenko, who are not just good for clean sheets, but could also go nuclear and get you a 15-pointer, because that's what takes you to the top, isn't it, really? So I like to take that risk personally. If you like a kind of safe pick, Walker is not, I can't knock him. So yeah, hopefully that is a interesting bit of discussion about Kyle Walker. There we go. People still asking me about the 2 Leicester goalkeepers. Still not feeling it. No, not feeling it. I appreciate lots of new people coming over to the stream. By the way, guys, if you are new around here and you haven't done already, please do subscribe to the channel. I'm going to do my best to give you the best FPL content throughout the season. I genuinely do have an ambition of, you know, making the best FPL content in the community. I don't know if it'll happen, but we're going to give it a go. So hopefully you guys can join me for that journey. And please do like the stream as well, if you wouldn't mind. Really do appreciate that. Jeffrey says, how much do you have in the bank? Thank you very much for the super chat, Jeffrey. I have 0.5 in the bank, which is, you know, enough to keep me flexible a little bit. Reevy McGeevy, the man himself, the pitch side legend. I don't know if any of you guys have been watching Reeves' pitch side podcast. It is, it's taken it to new levels. It really is absolutely class. Yeah, Reeve, I see that the pod is doing quite well recently as well, mate. So, yeah, congratulations. Yeah, long may it continue. And get me on as a guest, mate, soon. Thoughts on Gabriel, he says. Yeah, Gabriel is one of those players that will score FPL points seemingly randomly. So, he to me, he's one of those players that's kind of like Ward Prowse, for example, where he's a player that you kind of just got to put in your team and just leave in your team. He is just as likely to go nuclear against, you know, I don't know, like a Crystal Palace, or maybe like, you know, a Nottingham Forest or a Fulham or a Bournemouth or a newly promoted team. You know, Gabriel could score a header against Chelsea and get a 12-pointer. But he could also get a 2-pointer against, you know, a very average team. He's one of those players who will score randomly, and as long as you stick with him and don't knee-jerk him in and out, I feel like he's not a bad option. But if you're someone who likes to hop from player to player, chase form, or not even necessarily chase form, but get ahead of form and try and get that next big player, then maybe Gabriel is not the player for you, because I feel like if you lose a couple of clean sheets and he doesn't happen to get a headed goal or whatever, or a knockdown assist or something like that from a corner, if that doesn't happen for a couple of game weeks, I can see people getting frustrated with him. So as long as you're patient, I think he's a good pick. But if you're not patient, kind of like me, then maybe kind of know yourself a little bit. Certainly don't think he's essential. I think I do slightly prefer Zinchenko, just because you can kind of predict when Zinchenko is going to get FPL points. I kind of like that. I kind of like to know. Yeah, I don't know. Hopefully that answered your question, Reeve. But I mean, Reeve, you're a fantastic FPL manager yourself, so maybe we should be asking you some questions. So there we go. Maxime says, will Patterson start for Everton? Yeah, certainly at the start of the season. I'm still considering switching Patterson out for Nico Williams. You know, like, it is one or the other, isn't it? In terms of, like, let's go and trap the transfer page again. In terms of 4 million. Let's go defenders first. In terms of 4 million defenders, for me, it's a straight two-way battle between Nico Williams and Patterson. Everyone else is just not worth going for, unless Vestergaard gets a transfer. But even if Vestergaard does get a transfer, he's probably going to be transferring to, like, I don't know, maybe a Fulham. Do we trust a centre-back in a newly promoted team? Probably not. Tanganga's not going to get very much game time at all. Brandon Williams it doesn't look like he's going anywhere at this exact moment. But, you know, there's a chance Brandon Williams gets a transfer somewhere else before the end of the window. So, yeah, it's Nico Williams versus Patterson. Nico Williams is more nailed long-term. But I feel like at 29.1% ownership, and it's a very good chance, if he scores poorly in the first 5 game weeks and people want to upgrade their defenders and get in some more big defenders, I can see Nico Williams absolutely plummeting in price. So I wonder if it's worth going for someone else, because I can see if you know, I can honestly see Nico Williams not scoring more than 2 points in each of the first 5 game weeks, right? If that happens, his 29% ownership is going to drop to about 15% ownership, and he's going to drop down in price to 3.9, 3.8 million. At which point, a lot of us will be wildcarding. So I kind of like the idea of wildcarding Nico Williams in when he's at a 3.9, 3.8 million. So getting him while he's cheap and getting him as he comes into these nice fixtures. So, you know, 6, you know, Bournemouth, Leeds, Fulham through 6 through 8. You know, even after Leicester. Leicester's not the worst fixture in the world. I don't know why they put it as a red fixture. Aston Villa, Wolves, Brighton. So to own Williams from game week 6 at a 3.9, if that was to happen, that's a huge dub. That's a huge, little bit of strategy and trying to time when you own the right players at the right time, getting them for the right price, getting them during when they're actually a viable, first team option. It could go the other way. Nico Williams could get 3 clean sheets over the first 5 game weeks. Everyone transfers him in, and he's 4.2 million or 4.3 million by game week 6. It could go both ways. So it's all about predictions really, and kind of trying to make a bet, make a judgment. Patterson, on the other hand, I feel like he has slightly better early fixtures. After Chelsea, we've got Villa, Nottingham Forest, Brentford, Leeds. And I can actually see if it goes well, and if Patterson does play, even when Coleman starts to get back to fitness, if Patterson is playing the first 5 game weeks, even the first 3 game weeks, then I can see his price actually going up. So after game week 6, where he plays Liverpool, Arsenal, West Ham, Man United, Spurs, I switch Patterson in my wild card to a Nico Williams. I've made a profit on Patterson. I'm buying Nico Williams at a cheaper price. I am 100% overthinking this, by the way. But it's just an idea. It's just an idea. So there you go, guys. That's my personal thinking. I know it's absolutely crazy, but that's me. Okay, so Private with the super chat says, hi Dan, pick 2 out of Cash, Trippier and Digne. And then Rash, and Sam Max. So you want one defender and 1 attacker. All right, so let's go. The thing is, both... Trippier is a player you can stick with a little bit longer than a Matty Cash. I think Cash has a higher points potential in game week 1, most likely. But after that, I look at some of these fixtures. Bournemouth, Everton, fine. Crystal Palace, yeah. West Ham, no. Arsenal, Man City, Leicester. If you're a defender, yeah, we're kind of in trouble. Newcastle, on the other hand, I haven't got any Newcastle players, so let's find one. In terms of, from a defender's point of view, Forest, great fixture from a defender's point of view, as is Brighton, as is Wolves, as is, all of these fixtures all the way up to 10. So I feel like, yes, there's a couple of banana skins there in Man City and Liverpool, but aside from that, the fixtures are kind of very much catered to a defender. But Matty Cash is Matty Cash. Digne on set pieces, though. That's a tough question. Let's say Trippier. And I think I would go for Rashford over Sam Maximan, just because, I know I just said from a defensive point of view, the fixtures look good for Newcastle. But from if you're an attacker, yes, Nottingham Forest is okay. But Brighton, not okay. Man City, not okay. Wolves, not okay. Liverpool, not okay. Even Crystal Palace, not okay. So out of the first 6 fixtures, if you're a Newcastle attacker, it's really only Nottingham Forest that is objectively a good fixture. I know the official FPL website likes to do us dirty and puts, if, for example, if I click on Sam Maximan and I'm looking through the fixtures, if I don't know very much about football, or if I don't know very much about FPL, I'm looking at this, I'm thinking, wow, Brighton away, that's a green fixture. That must be a really easy game for players to score goals in. But it's not. Oh, Wolves away. Wow, amazing. Another green fixture. Sam Maximan's surely going to do really well against Wolves away. It's green. But it's not, is it? Same with Crystal Palace. A green fixture on the FPL website. If you're an attacker, Brighton, Wolves, both away, and Crystal Palace, fair enough, at home, they're not easy fixtures to go and get some goals in those games. They're not, are they? So, yeah, another little rant for you. You guys, you're prying out the rants. You're prying out the rants in me. Fine, I like it. Josh McJury, thank you very much for the super chat, my friend. Thoughts on Digne and Almiron as options for game week 1? Digne, yes, like him. Not got a problem with Digne whatsoever. Bit of a troll last season, but we know he has got a high ceiling. We know he's got good points potential, particularly as he is on those set pieces. Slightly less set pieces, to be fair, since Coutinho arrived, but we move. Almiron is a good option for game week 1, but not really after that. And that's my biggest problem with Almiron. I think as a punt in game week 1, I'm fine with him. After that, I'm a little bit worried. Just a little bit worried. TP just says Bournemouth just signed Neto from Barca. Is that actually just happened? Is that gone through? Is that going to be, ready for the weekend? Probably not ready for the weekend, surely. But if true, that's that's a good signing for Bournemouth, because they have looked in, they haven't had the best window in the world. So hopefully that's going to help them out a little bit. Yeah, maybe we should check if that's actually true, because if so, that's It's pretty decent. We'll have a super chat. We've got a couple more super chats. George says Mendy, White, and Rashford, or Ramsdale, Koulibaly, and Neto. So Koulibaly, I would not touch personally. Mendy, Ben White, I wouldn't touch either. I'm not really sure I like either of those combos. I guess Ramsdale and Neto I like. So I guess Ramsdale, Neto. I'm guessing you really, really want to get in on the Chelsea defence. I don't think I'd go for Koulibaly. I think I'd rather have because Koulibaly, the maximum he can get you really is 6 points. And that's assuming that Chelsea keep clean sheets. Game week 1, I'm a little bit concerned about Chelsea's defence just because, I'm not completely convinced by their pre-season. Game week 2, they play Spurs. So in the immediate term, is Koulibaly going to get you points? If 6 points is his cap, if he gets clean sheets, and he's not even guaranteed clean sheets, then I don't really know. I don't really know if I like that one. I would rather go for, I know he's 5.5, but I'd rather just spend 5 million and go for, some of the players I've mentioned already. Trippier, Zinchenko, Cash, Digne. One of those players. Even Perisic, if you fancy a risk, even Perisic, he is risky though. So okay, you've said you like Digne. You said you could have James. I mean, yeah, James is another option as well. If you want like James, then I would do Ramsdale, James, and Neto. That is probably the optimal combo. But if you want that bit of money in the bank, then Ramsdale. If you say you like Digne, Ramsdale, Digne, Neto. So I hope that helps, George. I think, that's probably going to be the best combo for you. But Koulibaly, for me, is just like not the one. I'm not feeling it, mate. I'm not feeling it. Vinal, thank you very much for the super sticker there. $1. I appreciate it. A few of you guys appreciating the India jersey, by the way. It's a banger. It's a banger. What can I say? We are going to switch it up, though. I'm going to switch to the Niger. The Niger jersey is coming on in a minute. So, yeah, there we go. Motley says, how about Peppa Pig? I would not personally go for Peppa Pig in your Game Week 1 team. I think Peppa Pig is kind of a player that we probably want to keep an eye on. Maybe look to bring her in. Sort of Game Week 6, Game Week 7, maybe in your first wild card. So there we go. Let's have a look. Stephanie says, hi Dan, can you explain why you went for Raya over Sanchez when game rotation is far worse? I'm not really looking to rotate goalkeepers, to be honest. I don't really like, even in some of the better fixtures, I probably would like, when would I actually play Ward? Ward is not available for game week 1, so I can't play him against Brentford. I would maybe play him again in game week 3, but probably not because Raya plays Fulham there. And after that, we've got Chelsea, Man United. I guess Brighton, I would consider playing him in 6. What we got in 6 for Raya? Leeds at home. So, yeah, I'm not looking to play Ward at all, really. He's just kind of there as a backup goalkeeper. He is the best 4 million goalkeeper, isn't he? So, there you go. Luke McCormick Clark says Mitrovic as a third backup striker. I mean, Mitrovic is 6.5 million. 6.5 million seems like a lot of money to spend on your bench. Because let's be real, when are you actually going to play Mitrovic? You're not going to play him game week 1. You're probably not going to play him in game week 2. You might play him game week 3, but probably, maybe you play him in game week 3. You're not going to play him in game week 4. You might play him in game week 5, but possibly not. You're not going to play him in 6. You're not going to play him at 7. So basically, there's one fixture you would play him in, and maybe you'd play him in 2 and 5. So that's in 7 game weeks. So it doesn't really seem right to spend that much money on a player you're only really going to start in a couple of games. So. Yeah, not as a substitute, no. It's a lot of money for a substitute. So there we go. Mrs. FPL Mate has just texted me saying, why is everyone talking about Peppa Pig in your chat? So Morgan, my dear wife, is clearly watching the stream on mute and is wondering about why we're talking about Peppa Pig. So Peppa Pig is a goated FPL option. Absolutely goated. Josie says, give your thoughts on Darwin Nunez. Risky. I don't mind him. But a little bit too risky for me. I just prefer Robertson. I just prefer Robertson as my third player. I'm a big fan of Robertson. I really am. Shout out to Nepenthes with the Dadinia. Yes, absolutely. I'm a big fan of, very big fan of Nepenthes. Have been for years. Probably my favourite FIFA YouTuber. No offense, Reeve, if you're still watching. I missed the super chat apparently. Let's have a look to see if I can find it. Oh, here we go. Okay, sorry, Ollie, Australia. Hey King, Spurs fullbacks too risky. Is Dyer too boring? Dyer at 5 million is not only too boring, but just like why? Yeah, nah, I would not. I would not be going for Dyer. You know, at 5 million, there's some other really good options that you can go for. You know, we've spoken about them enough already this stream. But Trippier, Zinchenko, Cash, Digne, all of those same prices as Dyer, much higher points potential. I know a lot of people like to think of, oh, I need to have a Chelsea player, I need to have a Spurs player, you know, or not necessarily a player, but a defender. Oh, I have to cover the Spurs defence, I have to cover the Chelsea defence. Just pick the player that you think will score the most points. You know, unless you're like really trying to play strategically against other people, I don't really know if that needs to come into it this earlier on in the season. I think at the start of the season, the objective is to just score as many points as possible. We're not trying to cover ourselves against our oppositions because we don't really know who our oppositions are. Fair enough, you know, if you're worried about the Chelsea ownership, then there is a lot of people that own in Reece James. Then maybe you can go on a Chelsea defender if you feel like you have to. But Spurs' defensive ownership is just not that high. So I don't think you really need to cover that per se. I hope that makes sense. Jandre, welcome. I haven't seen you in the chat today, Jandre. Nice to see you, my friend. Thoughts on KDB going under the radar a bit? He is going under the radar a bit because he's just so hard to fit in. Yeah, I like him. I do like him. It's just so hard to fit him in. Who am I sacrificing? I'm not going to sacrifice Salah. I'm not going to sacrifice Kane. If I'm completely honest, De Bruyne is probably my third favourite premium player. But I just can't fit him in. I don't like 3 premium teams. It just doesn't work for me. So yeah, maybe he's going under the radar a little bit, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Go for him if you fancy him. I actually like KDB is actually my favourite captain for Gameweek 2 as well, by the way. So if you fancy him, go for him by all means. Joachim, thank you very much for the super chat sticker. Not sure what that is. You've retracted the message, but I appreciate it nonetheless, my friend. Blue Malicious with a £5 super chat. Thank you so much. Just wanted to say thanks. Content was great last season. Turned it up a notch already this year. Yes, good to hear. Good to hear. Quality stuff and fun too. Well, thank you so much for those very kind words, Blue Malicious, and for the super chat. I really do appreciate that. Yeah, I hope we're doing all right. I hope we're doing all right. We've got Tobias. We've got Tobias in the chat as well. Another goated YouTuber. Tobias, who is also my agent, by the way, worried about Perisic's minutes after Conte's comments. Yes, Toby, mate, honestly, I am worried about Perisic's minutes, but for me, he's just that risk that I want to take, because we know that if Perisic starts against Southampton and he gets 60 minutes, it could go super well. You know, we're talking clean sheets. You know, we're talking about getting that clean sheet locked in at like 70 minutes or something like that when he gets substituted off. We're talking the amount of shots he takes, how advanced he plays up the field. You know, he is just perfect for being that goal-scoring defender. It's one of those players, if it goes well, it goes super well. It could also be a one-pointer, don't get me wrong. But, you know, taking that risk is something that I want to do in Game Week 1. It's definitely the most risky pick in this starting 11, or in my team in general. I wouldn't recommend you guys doing it necessarily. I like the pick. I like the risk. But if you're not prepared to take that risk, then absolutely do not go for Perisic. But, you know, the comments are basically, they've basically alluded to, you know, Perisic is not 100% fit, right? He's not match fit yet. He's not at 100%. The only way he's going to get match fit is if he gets game time. Now, whether that game time is 30 minutes, whether that game time is 60 minutes and getting him up to the pace of up to playing 90 minutes gradually or straight away, maybe. We've seen Perisic has already started a game and played the majority of a game in a pre-season friendly. I believe that was against Roma. It's all about getting Perisic match fit. And the only way you're going to do that is if he plays minutes. So it goes both ways. If he's not 100% fit, that goes both ways. It either means he needs to get minutes in order to get fit, or his body is literally not ready to play, 70, 80 minutes. It could go either way, and I'm not exactly sure which way it's going to go. The fact that he played nearly 90 minutes in a pre-season friendly is a good sign for me. So I guess we'll see. Let's catch up with some other super chats here. So we have got Vinal with a super chat, $2. Robbo and Bailey out for Zinchenko and Grealish. If you want to do that, you can. I'm not going to do that personally. Robbo is just like so goated, and Bailey I think is going to have a smashing game week 1, and I'm a little bit worried about Grealish rotation and minutes as well. Morgan, my dear wife Morgan, has put in a super sticker. I don't know if she knows how to put in a super chat, but she's given me 79p for some reason. Morgan, if you're watching this, dear Mrs. FPL Mate, if you are watching this, she's texted me as well. She's texted me. She says, I tried to do a super chat and just paid you without a comment. Dead. Morgan, if you want to come say hi, you can come upstairs. You can come and, if you're watching still, come upstairs. Come and say hi to the chat. Scott O'Brien says, thanks, Dan. James Cancelo, Neto, or Walker, Perisic, Mount. The safer trio is James, Cancelo, and Neto. In fact, yeah, I think objectively speaking, James, Cancelo, Neto is the one for you there, Scott. Thank you very much for the super chat, my friend. I'm so sorry, by the way, if I miss any super chats. There are a few that have come in here. Jandre says, is playing a threemium a train smash? I've never heard the term train smash before. I guess that means like car crash, but a train smash, maybe? I don't know. I don't like the threemiums. And all of the threemium teams that I've seen have looked pretty average. I want to show you a graphic from the video. I mean, I know you've probably seen this already, maybe some of you, but here's a graphic that's too big. Here's a graphic I made in a video the other day, which basically, it took the data from 100 expert Game Week 1 drafts, and we kind of looked at some of the trends and some of the key decisions that they were making. And what we saw was 96% had 2 premiums in their team. Only 2% had 1 premium, and only 2% had 3 premiums. So, if you compare that to Salah versus no Salah, an FPL expert, a good FPL player, is more likely to go without Salah than to pick anything other than 2 premiums in their team. And I think that really puts things into perspective of how unpopular the strategy of going for 3 premiums really is. You know, you're more likely to go without Salah than to go with 3 premiums. In fact, you're more than twice as likely to go without Salah than to go with the 3 premiums. I think that says so much. So I don't know. Make of that what you will. Just a little bit of data for you, I suppose. A little bit of data. Sam Green says, what do you think about Doherty and Vardy? Doherty is unavailable for Game Week 1, or very unlikely to be available for Game Week 1, so he's modded immediately. Vardy is an interesting differential. Yeah, he's an interesting differential. If you can find the budget for him and he starts, surely he does start. It's so difficult because you feel like at a certain point, Vardy is going to start making way for players like Daka. I'm also a little bit worried about Leicester. I feel like they're in a bad place right now. I don't know. But look, he's an interesting differential, and he's another one of those players that if it goes right, it goes very right. Above Average FPL, by the way, is in the chat. They have a fantastic podcast over on YouTube, and both of the lads are Spurs fans, and they say Perisic starts in their opinion. So there you go, Perisic, Spurs fan, an in the know Spurs fan, not in the know, but a clued up Spurs fan reckons that Perisic is going to start. There you go. Maybe that's a decent little bit of information for us guys. Well, it's just an opinion, isn't it? But still, we'll take any agendas that we can find. We'll take any agendas we can find. Right, I know we're a little bit behind on super chats. I will catch up. I'm so sorry. We'll get through them. Samar says, "Hi Dan, Foden or Saka?" I prefer Foden. I don't prefer Foden. I prefer Saka. So Samar, Saka would be my guy. Go for him in my opinion. Who else have we got here? We've got Dan Ramsey, who's got a Portuguese flag as the profile picture with a English-sounding name, well, Welsh-sounding name, I suppose, and paying in New Zealand dollars. So thank you very much for the super chat, Dan. Love your content, Dan. Good luck for the season. Watching all the way from New Zealand. Thank you so much, Dan. I really do appreciate that, my friend. Yeah, hopefully we can give you some good content throughout the season. And yeah, hopefully you'll stick around. I really appreciate that and the kind words. Abhinav says, hey Dan, huge fan. Thank you so much, Abhinav, as well. Thoughts on Barnes and Undav? Risky, both really risky. I'm not actually 100% sure if Undav's going to start at the beginning of the season. I know I gassed him up so much early on in the preseason, but I have gone a little bit quiet on him. Maybe I'm wrong. I guess we'll see. But yeah, I've kind of gone off him. He didn't have the preseason I was hoping for. He didn't play as much in preseason as I hoped he would. I thought he would just be the out-and-out star in preseason, but he hasn't been. But there's no reason we can't wait, because Brighton's fixtures do get better. I think, is it around game week 5 or 6 or something like that? Brighton's fixtures just go from to wow. So, yeah. If you want to fixtures, then wait a little bit on Undav, I suppose. Barnes, fixtures are mixed. Again, I'm not fully convinced by where Leicester are at the moment. Kieran Gauchi, thank you very much for the super sticker there, my friend. Duncan Crawford, see you at Festbud. Thank you very much, Duncan, and I'll see you later, my friend. Is that... Oh, you got your profile picture from last time we met as well. Oh, that's sick. I'm in your profile picture. Oh, man, nice one, Duncan. Thank you, my friend. I'll see you later, man. Tom Hall says, what's your opinion on Tony from game week 2/3 onwards? Seems like Damsgaard is coming in to replace Eriksen. Do you think there could be decent value? And that's from Tom Hall with a £4.49 super chat. What an absolute legend. What do I think about Tony? I don't mind him. I guess we'll see. I kind of want to see how he plays in game week 1. Pre-season, he didn't thrill me. I think he only scored 1 goal in pre-season by the end of it. But he is the star of the show. We do need that replacement Eriksen, don't we? If Damsgaard does come in and he does... I think we need to see what happens. I think we need to see the connection between Damsgaard and Tony. And if it looks good, then why not? Why not? I don't know if he's a particularly valuable pick, just because Tony is quite expensive. He comes in at 7 million, isn't it? It's quite a lot of money. But I guess we'll see. I think he could prove his value, but, you know, we're talking about game week 2 and 3 onwards. Maybe that's the kind of bridge we can cross when we come to it, if you know what I mean. It would be a risky pick in game week 1, wouldn't it? Be a risky pick in game week 1. So, yeah, I guess we'll wait and see. Apparat, thank you very much for becoming a member of the channel. Really appreciate that. Make sure to throw some emojis in the chat so I can see the members' emojis. I just like seeing the emojis in the chat. You know, the custom ones, I mean. Just quite fun. It's quite fun. Shrad Haya says, well, he doesn't say anything. It's a super sticker. It's going to be $1 Australian. Thank you very much. Really appreciate the sticker. Above average FPL, it says, are you streaming all the way until you leave for Fest? Lol. No, because I need to shower, pack a bag, get a haircut, go to the shops. I need to do loads of stuff. And then I've got to travel to London. Then I've got to book into my Airbnb. And then I'll go to Fest, and then I'm gonna actually leave Fest after an hour of being there, go back to my Airbnb, stream, and then go back to Fest. It's gonna be a busy day. It's gonna be a bit of a crazy day. Where is Mrs. FPL Mate? I don't know. Let me text her, because she's flaking on us again. EJ98 says, Dan, love the content. Bench 1, Trippier, Neto, and Bailey. If the answer there really is Bailey. Oh, Mrs. FPL Mate says she's too shy. The answer there is Bailey to bench out of those 3 players. But if you're going to bench Bailey in game week 1, then there's no point in owning him. I think I went over this on a stream a couple of days ago. But Bailey's good fixtures basically amount to Bournemouth and Everton. If you're not going to own him for Bournemouth and Everton, well, if you're going to own him for the game week 1, and you're not even going to play him against Bournemouth, then you're pretty much only owning Bailey for the Everton fixture. Because if you're benching him against Bournemouth, you're probably going to bench him against Everton, and you're definitely going to bench him in all of the subsequent 5 fixtures. So if you're going to bench Bailey, there's no point in having him. Just downgrade him to a 4.5. Hopefully that helps, EJ. The Gaming Panda says, love your vids, Dan, watching from New Zealand. Thank you so much. It looks like there's a few of you guys in New Zealand right now. So shout out to all of the New Zealanders in the chat. What's up, guys? Hope you're doing well. And I hope you're ready for the deadline, which is going to be like a crazy... people in New Zealand and Australia, to be fair, what time is it going to be where you are when deadline hits? Because I'm sure it's going to be something crazy like 2:30 a.m., something like that, 3:30 a.m.? Or is it even later than that? It's like 4 or 4:30 a.m. I don't know. You guys can tell me. I guess it depends on your time zone, doesn't it? Right, let's have a look and see what else we can see. I mean, the super chats are going wild. I will try and I'll try and catch up with these super chats. I'll try and whiz through them here. Marius, thank you very much for the super chat. Do you plan on attacking Man City versus Bournemouth in Game Week 2, or how do you plan to do that? I haven't decided. I might not. I might just not. The options are to go from Kane to Haaland, or leave it and just stick with Cancelo. Because honestly, if I was to go for a Foden, for example, it would mean sacrificing, a good 8 million Saka who plays against Leicester at home, which I like as a fixture, for a player. If I go for Foden, if I go for Mahrez, if I go for Grealish, I'll be sacrificing a good player and replacing them with a player who may not even play. It's all well and good, having a great fixture, but you also got to play in it. Haaland is probably the only safe player there, and even he's not 100% safe. You can see Alvarez coming in for that fixture potentially. We know Haaland is not going to be playing 90 minutes every game. The whole reason he's at Man City is because he won't be playing, 90 minutes every game. Because he knows that's what Man City provide for him. An opportunity to, recover his body a little bit, I guess. Give him good recovery time. So I don't know. I don't know how I'm going to attack Man City versus Bournemouth. I might not at all. That's part of the reason why I've gone for Cancelo, because at least there's a little bit of attacking potential there. Because there's no other Man City players. We've got a big super chat from Kaustub Saxena. Says, hey Dan, love your content. What are your thoughts on one decision? Wanted to take a punt on Rashford. Which option would you suggest? Okay, let's have a look here. Robertson, Martinelli and Rashford. Or James, Diaz and Rashford. Option 1 keeps 1.5 million in the bank. I don't think you need 1.5 million in the bank necessarily. But Robertson, Martinelli, Rashford, honestly, kind of like that. James, Diaz and Rashford is probably the sensible answer. But I would be lying if I was to say to you I didn't like the look of Robertson, Martinelli and Rashford. So I guess the James and Diaz one is probably the one I would advise to you. But I think personally I'd be tempted by that Robertson and Martinelli. I would be tempted. J Vibe says Saka, Bailey, Robbo versus Diaz, Martinelli, James. I like Saka, Bailey, Robbo. Do I? No, okay. No, I think I like them both about evenly, to be fair, which is probably why you're asking this question. God, I don't want to sit on the fence, but this is such a hard decision. Let's go Saka, Bailey, Robbo. Slightly Danish accent, man. I know exactly who that is. All right, so my friend Jordan is he's clearly watching the stream. So this is my real life best mate who's put a super chat in, £4.49. Thank you very much, Jordan. I appreciate that, my friend. Let's hope Florian Wirtz bags a last-minute goal soon for some lovely bonus points. Enjoy FPL Fest, bud. Keep up the good work. Thank you, man. I do appreciate that. For context there, we were playing FIFA. Me versus my friend. We were playing FIFA last weekend. We had a FIFA tournament, actually, and me and him happened to be in the final of the tournament. And I was, I believe, 4-1 up. And he came back to make it 4-4 in the 93rd minute because Florian Wirtz scored on the counter-attack. He was playing as Bayern Leverkusen. And then he won in extra time as well. So, yeah, I was 4-1 up in the final of a FIFA tournament against my friend, and I still managed to lose it. I don't know how. I threw more than I threw last FPL season, but that's another conversation. Right, such Ashley, that's a hard word to say. Such Ashley says Edison and 5 million defenders, or Raya with Cancelo and Dunk. I kind of like Raya with Cancelo and Dunk. I like the Cancelo and Dunk. By the way, guys, people are saying 3:30 a.m. for the Australian/New Zealand deadline. Someone says 5:30 a.m. But yes, it depends on your time zone. It could be anywhere between 3:30 and 5:30. If you're staying up / getting up for that deadline, you guys are absolutely wild. Fair play. Count Sealaw is here. Nice of you to join us. Sky. We need a moderator. We need a good moderator friend to help us out. Nice to see you, Sky, mate. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. I'm way behind on the chat. I do apologise. We'll catch up soon. Iskander, thank you very much for becoming a member of the channel. X-Tire says, what do you think about Dalot at United? He's one of the better 4.5 million defenders. I'm still not sold on Manchester United's defence. I think I prefer Lewis Dunk. at 4.5. Jack Sakra says, James Grealish, Martinelli, or Neto, Perisic, Saka. Did I answer this one already? No, maybe not. Neto, Perisic, Saka is the combo I've gone for. So maybe that answers your question. But it's okay, let's say Neto, Perisic, and Saka if you're big. Iskander says, shout out from Singapore. Nice to see some viewers from all around the world. Appreciate you, man. I do appreciate you. Are we caught up with super chats? Yeah, we're almost there, and then we can just talk. Iric says, which keeper are you running game week 1, Ward or Raya? Ward is not fit for game week 1, and I think I'd pick Raya anyway, to be honest. Simon says, I hear Susan Boyle is at Fest tonight, mate. If so, I can't wait. I can't wait to meet one of my childhood heroes, Mrs. Susan Boyle, an absolute legend of British cult hero status, pop culture. That was almost a sentence, Dan. You should do more talking for a living. You know, that definitely suits you, Dan, mate. Another super chat from Olivier Favreau. £5 super chat. Wow, that's very generous. Thank you, man. Thanks, Dan, for all the great content ahead of the new season. Thoughts on not having any Chelsea assets in your team? They do have decent fixtures. I'm not fully convinced by Chelsea. I think they're going to start slowly. I'm very much open to moving to Chelsea players, and I've intentionally got a few players in my FPL team that are similarly priced to those Chelsea players. You know, I've got Saka who can move to a Mount. I've got Perisic who can move to a Reece James or a Ben Chilwell. Even Jesus, I'd be open to moving Jesus to a Havertz if they look good. So yeah, in other words, I am prepared to move for Chelsea players, but I'm just not convinced I want to start with them. I just get this feeling they're going to have a slow start. I don't know. What do you think? What do you think, Chelsea fans? Pre-season, I don't think it's looked great. I think you're still trying to do business. You haven't quite got that squad settled yet, which is not a bad thing. You know, it's good that you're making new signings, absolutely, but it could just take that just a couple of weeks to get things sorted. You know, Rudiger is being replaced with Koulibaly. How long is it going to take? You know, Koulibaly will be great for Chelsea, don't get me wrong, but will he crack on straight away? I don't know. Prateep says, oh my God, you're wearing an India shirt. Big up. Love from India. Thank you so much, and big shout out to all the Indian people out there. Lipok Jamir says, is a mid of Rodrigo, Grealish, Rashford and Salah too risky? It's a little bit too risky for me. I would maybe, you've got 3 risky midfielders in there in Rodrigo, Grealish and Rashford. If you want to go for 2 risky midfielders, fair enough. But to go for 3 is a little bit much for me. Personally, I would probably prefer to go for just 1 risky midfielder, if any. But I don't think there's anything wrong with going for 2. I don't think there's anything wrong with going for 3, but I just would not do that personally. We need to switch up the football chat. I've said I'm not gonna be streaming for forever. Probably like another hour. So we're gonna switch up to the Nigeria. We're gonna switch up to the Nigeria jersey. We're gonna mix it up. So I know you guys can't see me. I don't even know if you guys can hear me. Probably can, but just to let you know, I am still here. Please don't leave. Please don't leave the stream. Please, I'm begging you. I'm coming back. I'm just changing my shirt. I'm coming, guys. I'm almost there. Let me just hang this India t-shirt up, and then we'll get straight back to the questions and the chat. Don't leave. Are you guys still there? Oh my God. Something fell. Right. Let's pop you back here. Right, we're done. We got the Nigeria. We got the Nigeria. Cosy change, guys. Bit of cosy change. Did anyone used to play Habbo Hotel? And remember cosy change? That was a vibe. Oh no, Fion says I'm leaving. Don't leave. Stay with me. I need you. Sam says alternative midfield option other than Saka and Bailey. Mason Mount. Luis Diaz for Saka. For Bailey, there's not really much. Neto is 5.5 if you can stretch to 5.5. Aronson's also 5.5 as a bit of a differential. Almiron is like a 1 week punt. I've kind of gone off Almiron a little bit if I'm completely honest. So I don't know. Kartik, thank you very much for the super sticker there. Omar says Robbo, Mount, Williams or James Diaz Walker. Let's think. I mean, I guess if one of those players is going to be a bench player, then go Robbo, Mount and Williams, and then bench Williams. If you have to play all three, then James Diaz and Walker is probably the way. A few guys, a few people in the chat saying they remember Habbo Hotel. It was amazing. It was amazing. Then some people said RuneScape was better. I'm not even going to lie. I still play RuneScape occasionally. I still play. I absolutely loved it. Like back in 2008, all the way to 2013. Then they re-released it, re-released old school RuneScape, and then I've been playing that on and off for years. It's good. It's good stuff. Habbo Hotel, RuneScape. That's just like my childhood in a nutshell. I miss those days. Omar says, wait, I already answered you, Omar. I already answered you. Kartik says Trent, Robbo, Cancelo, Walker, or Trent, Robbo, Cancelo, and James. So really, we're talking about Walker versus James. Probably Reece James, probably. Mark says overlooking Alvarez, same game time as Mids Grealish. But I'm not even really looking at Grealish because I'm so worried about his minutes. Like Alvarez at City is a forward. Even though he's probably going to be playing mostly on the wing, I think he could be a good option. But I think Alvarez is going to be one of those players that is only going to be good for you if you own him at the exact right moments. And even if he scores you absolutely amazing points one game week, he's probably going to get a 1 pointer next week when he's inevitably rotated. So he's a real difficult one, is Alvarez. I think he possibly has a part to play in FPL. But, when you consider minutes, and is he going to be scoring goals over the likes of, your Fodens, your Mahrez's, your Grealish, your Haaland, Cancelo? Is he going to be outscoring those players? Even if he got the same minutes, he wouldn't outscore those players, and he's probably going to be playing less minutes. So, yeah, it's an interesting one. That's just about it, though. Not someone I'd really be considering personally. Conrad says, would you prioritise having Robbo, Trent and Cancelo or 2 8 million midfielders? I think having Robbo, Trent and Cancelo, I think I'm happy, as long as you've got 1 8 million midfielder, I think you're pretty much laughing. If you do the latter, or do you like Saka and Mount or Kulu? I prefer Mount to Kulusevski, but I would prefer to go for the defenders. Jeffs says Mendy, Trent, Robbo, Cancelo, or Mendy, Salah, Martinelli. But that's. Oh no, you're just giving me your whole team. All right, sorry. That's 2 Mendys. I don't think we're allowed to have the Man City Mendy anymore. I don't think that's allowed, unless you mean. Is there a midfielder? No, wait. Is Leicester Mendy listed as a defender now? Is that what's going on there? Because otherwise there's not enough defenders. No, he's not. He's a midfielder. In that case, I'm not really sure I understand. But, I mean, looking at the team, it looks decent. Yeah, it looks like a good team. I can't work out who that second Mendy is. Maybe I will figure it out. Maybe you guys in the chat can figure out who the second Mendy is meant to be. JM says Edison, James, Diaz, or Ramsdale, Robbo, Grealish. Damn, that's hard. Edison, James, Diaz is the sensible choice. Ramsdale, Robbo, Grealish is the big money baller move. If you're feeling big, Ramsdale, Robbo, Grealish. If you're feeling small and sensible, Edison, James, and Diaz. The correct answer is Edison, James, and Diaz. If there's any such thing as correct answers in FPL, which there's not, to be fair. Serendipitipsy, who, by the way, I've seen your name in the chat before, actually, Serendipitipsy. I think were you a member before? I love your username. It's hilarious. Thank you very much for joining as a member once again. I do appreciate that. It's a back three, Dan. Oh, is it? Am I misread it? Oh, Robbo can. Oh, I've missed out Trent. It's because the full stops through me. It's a back. But that's still a Mendy. Because the full stops, right, in that super chat, the full stops separate the position. So you've got Mendy, full stop. So that's goalkeepers. Then Trent, Robbo, Cancelo, Mendy, full stop. So that's the defence. I just can't work out who Mendy is. I can't work out who Mendy is. Jeff says put in another super chat. So the same person, okay. All right. Oh, he's corrected himself. He meant to say Walker and not Mendy. So Mendy, Trent, Robbo, Cancelo, Walker. So double Liverpool defence and double City defence. Big. You're big. Salah, Martinelli, Bailey, Saka, Haaland, and Jesus. Jeff's. Now that we know that Mendy is Walker, I like it. I like your team, my friend. I like it. It's looking good. It's looking good. Jack Doherty says Perisic and Martinelli or Doherty and Rashford. Well, I mean, your name is Jack Doherty. So that kind of suggests to me that you should go for Doherty. The only problem with going for Matt Doherty is that he's injured. So, yeah, basically that probably answers your question. Perisic and Martinelli is probably going to be a better option just because Doherty is injured. And even if Doherty is not injured, there are so many right backs. There are so many right wing backs at Spurs right now. Doherty, Spence, who else? Emerson Royale, Lucas Moura has been playing right wing back all pre-season. That's 4 right wing backs. That's crazy. That is absolutely mad. Mad. So hopefully that answers your question. Yoel Adita says Neto plus a 4.5 to 5 million defender or Rashford plus Dalot/Mings. I think I'd go for Neto and go for Neto and then either a Cash, a Trippier or a Zinchenko. That's what I'd do there. She Loves Ben 23. Welcome to the channel and thank you very much for becoming a member of the channel. I really do appreciate that. Are you Ben or are you the she that loves Ben? That's what I want to know. That's what I want to know. Someone says Arsenal. She Loves Ben. Oh yeah, it's She Loves Ben 23. Arsenal table prediction this season. I think Arsenal are probably good for 5th. Habs has put in the chat as well. Shout out to Miniclip and Digipets. Yeah, that is a real throwback, man. Serendipitipsy says yes, I've been before. Glad to be back. Good. Have I okay. I've caught up on super chats. Amazing. Why not play Erling Haaland? I just prefer Kane. In a straight up battle 1v1, I prefer Kane. That's pretty much my answer. Jandre says, who to replace Doherty with? I have Trippier, Walker, and triple up on Arsenal, so can't go Zinchenko. That brings you to young Mr. Matty Cash or Dinya. So go for one of Cash or Dinya. Get that Aston Villa spice in your life. Love it. The Gaming Panda says, I've got a bottle of Coke to keep me awake until the deadline over here. What kind of Coke? I mean, one of them will probably help keep you up a little bit better than the other. Not that I'm advocating for it. But bottle suggests liquid. So, yeah, hopefully you make it to the deadline if it's late. Or have a nap now. That's what I'd be doing. I'd be going to sleep now. Wait, would I be going to sleep now? Depends what time it was. If it was 6 p.m. in my country and I wanted to be awake at 3:30 a.m., I would have a 2-hour nap, I think. Just a quick little 2-hour nap. Iskander says, quick question, go for Martinelli and save 2 million for future upgrades or Saka and use the excess 2 million now? I would go for Saka now, to be fair. Count Sealor says, I reckon Arsenal 4th, United 8th. The chat is not going to be happy with that. People are not going to like that. Bruce Lee says, did you play Neopets? Yeah, I did. I was a little bit young when Neopets was about. I think I caught the back end of Neopets. Also, no sub-story here, but my family was not very wealthy. We didn't have the internet really until, quite late on, I think, compared to most other people. So Neopets, we didn't have a home computer. We didn't have the internet until quite late on. So Neopets, I only really caught the back end of that. before, but I was internet ready in the house in prime Habbo Hotel and RuneScape days, and that's all that matters. The Flying Naga says, can you make best Game Week 1 team without any consideration for following game weeks? Just best for Game Week 1. Say I was going to wildcard in Game Week 2. Could you make one? I'm not going to do that because I feel like that is just the worst possible advice you could ever give to someone, is to just plan for one game week. But if I was to go for one game week, I would probably bin off Man City players entirely. So I'll just give a bit of general advice. I'm not going to make the team, but I'll give a bit of general advice for one game week only. Definitely do not recommend doing this. But I'd bin off Cancelo. I wouldn't have Perisic. I wouldn't have Arsenal attackers in my team at all. I would I would go for Newcastle players who play against Nottingham Forest. I'd definitely go for at least one Aston Villa, a defender, and probably Bailey as well. I would go for Salah. I would go for Kane. I would probably go 3 million with Son, because you're going to save a lot of money by not going for players like Cancelo. I would still double up on Robertson and Alexander-Arnold and go for Salah. So yeah, basically I'll probably pretty much ignore City and maybe some of the other teams. Go 3 million with Salah, Kane and Son. Maybe even captain Son. and then after that, just go for some cheap players, because you don't need Saka, you don't need Jesus. That Crystal Palace game is not a great fixture for Arsenal. The only reason people are owning Arsenal attackers is for the future. For the future. Did I use Miniclip? Yeah, I did use Miniclip. Yeah. There was like a Robot Wars style game on Miniclip that I remember very, very vividly. Very, very vividly. Kai Christian Roma. It's definitely not a roll of the tongue there, but that is an excellent use of the letter O. Very fashionable. Kai, we'll call you Kai, says, going Wilson over Kane / Haaland, only Salah as premium. Why doesn't anyone talk big about Wilson? It's because after Game Week 1, the fixtures are not great for an attacker for Wilson. He's good. He's a great one game week punt, but after that, I'm not so sure. But yeah, like for one game week, fine, it could pay off and it will be worth transferring him out, but you're pretty much going to have to get rid of him at a certain point. So I think that's why not many people are talking about him. But thank you very much, Kai, for the super chat. I do appreciate it. Nicola says, hello, Dan. Good morning. What do you think about Darwin plus James or Kane plus Saliba? Don't know about Saliba. If you've already got 2 premium players, then go for Darwin and James. If you only have 1 premium player, I guess Kane and Saliba comes in. I don't think I'd go for Saliba full stop. If you want a 4.5 million defender, Lewis Dunk is probably your friend. Like, he's not gonna... Like, how many points is Saliba really gonna get? Like 6 points on a good day? Can't see him getting too many goals. Bonus points, would he? I don't think he'll do too well for bonus points either, to be honest. It is a tricky one. It is a tricky one. Bench Neto or Bailey? I won't keep saying this, but if you're going to bench one of Neto or Bailey, just don't have him in your team at all. Thoughts on bench boost for first week? Don't like it. Hate it. Hate it. In fact. Yeah. If guys, chips in general, you want to be saving really till much later on in the season when we get our double game weeks and our blank game weeks. That's going to be chip season. Chip season is just not going to be for so long. There's really no point in thinking about it. Don't even worry about chips. Yeah. Jandre says, Dan, Arsenal are finishing 3rd this season. You heard here first. Third? I mean, obviously, I would be thrilled if Arsenal finished 3rd. Is that really, really going to happen? Why not James over Perisic, and is Raya locked for you? And that's from the Luke guy. Why not? Well, I could go for James. I just kind of prefer Perisic. But that's just a risk that I'm going to make. Like I kind of said, like a number of times, if I was to advise you guys, I'd say go James. But if I'm going for my own team and making my own decisions, then I'm going for Perisic. James is the sensible option, but I'm not a sensible guy. And is Raya locked for you? Yeah, like 90, like 80% locked, I would say. There's always time for a last minute switch. I'm thinking about going for Sanchez. I'm thinking about going for Melier. I'm going to be sticking with a 4.5 goalkeeper. That is something I have decided on. Count Seeloff says, triple captain game week 1 on Salah. Yeah, but then what if we get something that happened last season where Salah has a double game week and he scores like, how many points did he score? Like 30 points on a double game week and becomes the greatest triple captain of all time. And you're going to waste it on a 15-pointer in game week 1. Like, don't get me wrong, a 15-pointer is class. But it's no 30-pointer. So, yeah, I'll be saving my triple captain personally. You know what, though? Sometimes people just like to play their chips early on so they get ahead in the ranks, but then they find themselves absolutely mudded by the end of the season because everyone else is using their chips where the chips are more powerful. So, early chip users, you take your early advantage, but we're coming for you. And when we come for you, you're in very big trouble. Very big trouble. Aranya says, would you take a punt with this starting 11? Haaland, Kane, Jesus, Salah, Neto, Trent, Cancelo, Cash, White, Justin, and Raya. Would I personally do it? Absolutely not. I would not personally go with 3 premiums. I would not be happy with players like White and Justin in my team. So basically to answer your question, and there's no 8 million midfielder in there, so it's going to be difficult to pivot to an 8 million midfielder. Yes, personally, no, I would not do that. I don't think it's a terrible team. If you like it, then go for it. Like, you know, anything I say is just one man's opinion, and I will get so many things wrong this season, guys. Please don't think I'm the oracle, because I'm not. I can't predict the future, and this team might do phenomenally. But would I pick it? No, not enough flexibility for me there. You're spending so much money on premiums that you're sacrificing some of the big hitting defenders and replacing them with players like White and Justin, who I don't think are going to score very highly at all. So I don't like it. Mate. I just a personal opinion, don't like it. Conrad says, I have Jesus and Martinelli already. Should I get Saka or Mount? Mount, maybe. I don't think there's anything wrong with the Arsenal triple up. Just don't expect too many points from Arsenal attackers in game week 1. Like, don't expect a lot of points. It could happen, don't get me wrong, but don't expect points in game week 1 because Crystal Palace away is not the easiest fixture in the world. Mason Mount against Everton is a bit of a safer bet in game week 1. But then we're not playing for one game week, are we? We're playing for the long term. It's up to you guys. Ibrahim, thank you for the super sticker there. I appreciate it, my dude. I appreciate it. Is Martinelli a risky pick? No, definitely not. No, Martinelli is a very, very good pick. A very good pick. You know, he's been in and out of my drafts all pre-season. I don't want to triple up on game week 1. I'm open to going to Martinelli from game week 2 onwards, which is another reason I've got 0.5 in the bank, so I can switch Neto to Martinelli if I want to. But yeah. By the way, guys, subscribe. Have we got any... Have we got a subscriber goal? Can we do a... I know I said 150,000 by deadline, but that's just not going to happen. Can we maybe set a target at 140,000? Wow, yes we can. We are just 68 subscribers away from 140,000. So guys, subscribe. If you're not subscribed already, do it now. Do it good. And let's hit 140,000 subscribers live on stream today. Let's do it. If you wouldn't mind, thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. Thank you. Logic Loco says, does it matter if the subs or on the field or not on FPL app? Yes, it very much does matter. It does matter. Make sure the players you want to play are in the starting 11. In fact, you know, I'm probably not helping by going on this page. Let's go on this page just to make it a little bit clearer of what my team actually looks like. So there we go. A little bit better. FIFA Numa Uno says your team is quite boring. I agree. I do agree. It's just my personal strategy. I like to go safe early on in the season. Safe like game week 1, and then we're going to start introducing some spicy differentials as the season goes in. But you know, there's a lot of players in this team that are not like super highly owned. Like, you know, Perisic, 27%. That's quite high. Fair enough. Robertson is at 12. Raya is at 6.9. Saka is at 22%. Neto is at 18.5. Bailey is at 16. Kane is not super high. 28. Okay, that's going up in fairness. But look, in general, this team is I think it's boring and it's safe if you watch a lot of FPL creators. But, you know, FPL content creators, people who just spend a lot of time doing the research and, trying to identify the best players, they are naturally going to come to the same conclusions because they're looking at the same data. So if you feel like you've seen similar teams to this before, whether you've been watching other YouTubers, whether you've been on Twitter and having a look at some Twitter content creators or Reddit or TikTok or however you consume your FPL stuff, if you're seeing a lot of teams similar to this, that's probably a good thing. It probably means that this team is pretty good, actually, because it means that a lot of people who are doing their own individual research are coming to the same conclusions, and that is science. If everyone's coming to the same conclusions, it's probably the right answer. Base Robin, thank you very much for the $5 Australian super chat. What about going for Trippier instead of Perisic and then switch in with Patterson or Andreas for game week 3 and 5? I did think about it. That is something I did consider, because the rotation is not too bad. I thought about it, but I'm not sold on it. I like Trippier. I like Perisic more. And if I have Perisic, I want to keep him. You know, I go for him. I hope he starts game week 1. But more importantly, I'll have Perisic already when he's actually starting regularly. Because I think a lot of people are going to, not go for Perisic game week 1, which is a great, it's a perfectly valid decision to go without Perisic in game week 1. Perfectly valid. But they may find themselves in a couple of weeks finding that they want to go for Perisic. They want to bring Perisic in, and may find that difficult, or may have to take a -4 to do that, or may just have to use up their transfer. So I'm trying to get a little bit ahead of the game there on Perisic and praying that he rewards me by playing in game week 1. If Perisic plays in game week 1 or starts and gets 60 plus minutes, it could be huge. Could be huge. But yeah, it's a risk. It's a risk I'm willing to take. Matthias, thank you very much for becoming a member of the channel. I appreciate that, my dude. We've got a super chat from Ibrahim, who says, why don't you use 0.5 to upgrade Raya to Ramsdale? I want to keep one of my Arsenal slots open. That is one of the reasons I don't want Ramsdale. Also, I don't actually think Ramsdale is, I know he's being gassed up by everyone. That's one of the, that sometimes a lot of people are going for one player. And usually if everyone's going for the same player, it's probably because they're the correct player. But Ramsdale is a pick that I can't fully understand, because I prefer a player like Zinchenko or Gabriel. If you're going to cover the Arsenal defence, I'd rather go for one of Zinchenko or Gabriel for those attacking returns. But also, I don't like the idea of, if I've only got Saka and Jesus, do I want to use my third slot on Ramsdale? Because I want to give myself the option to go for Zinchenko. I want to give myself the option for going for Martinelli. I want to keep those options open. So that's one of the reasons I'm not going for Ramsdale. But also, I do want to keep that 0.5 in the bank. That's just me personally. It's just me personally. It's a personal opinion. Ibrahim, same Ibrahim, has given me a super sticker with a cute little fox giving the thumbs up that says, good job. Thank you, Ibrahim. I appreciate that, my friend. Super sticker here from Bipul as well. Thank you very much for that. Apparently, we just hit 140,000 subscribers as well, according to Count C-Law. Did we? Hey, yes, we did. We smashed it. Yes, over 140,000 subscribers. Thank you, guys. Really, really appreciate that. That's awesome. That's actually quite mad. All right, wicked. Thank you, guys. Next target 150,000, but we're not going to do that today. Maybe I genuinely think we could hit 150,000 subscribers in maybe a week. Maybe a week is it's possible. We're in hype season right now. We're in the FPL peak season, peak time of the season. Can we get 150,000 subscribers by next Friday, by game week 2? Possibly. Maybe. We'll see. Aiden Sheck says, bro, your Discord needs promoting. Absolutely fine by me. Let's promote that Discord. Let me just grab the link for you guys. And I'm going to spam the Discord link. Where did I put the link? I have it somewhere. Sky, if you're in the chat still, mate, feel free to spam the Discord link in the chat, and anyone who wants to join the Discord server, you're more than welcome to go over there and do that. Unearthed Name, thank you very much for becoming a member of the channel. And while we're on the topic of promoting things, just a quick shout out to Fantasy Football Hub. The Fantasy Football Hub have been supporting the channel for a little while now, a couple of weeks. They are going to be supporting the channel, the YouTube channel, for the entirety of August. So amazing to have this sponsorship going on. And they've given me an affiliate link as well. So if you are in the market for things like this, they just have loads of class tools. So they've got this My Team tool, which gives your team a rating. And you can kind of build your team in here, and it gives you like a percentage rating. Some of you guys may have seen this already. Some of you guys maybe not. But yeah, you can do a little rating of your own team. Like change the captain to like there, and you can see, oh wow, you can say, oh wow, this team is rated 98%. It must be quite good. So there's that tool there. They also have like team reveals from like big creators, like so the champion of last season. I'm not going to show you on here because I don't know if that's allowed, but because I think that's a members only article. But yeah, they'll like do team reveals before every deadline of some of the biggest and best fantasy Premier League players. There are like all kinds of tools, like Opta tools. Like I gas this up so much because I just use it constantly when trying to make decisions. And points predictions. You can like just like this like fixture ticker. It's actually good. There is so much. There's so much on Fantasy Football Hub. I absolutely love it. I've been using it for years, and I really, really thoroughly recommend, if you are really serious about FPL and you are really serious about trying to be like not just competitive, but super like the top levels of FPL. You want to absolutely dominate at it. Go check out Fantasy Football Hub. There is a link in the description. If you go by the link in the description as well, I think you can get 50% off your subscription, or just check out the free stuff, or you can get your subscription. It's 50% off at the moment, which is pretty mad. I think that's only pre-deadline. I think it's changing to, maybe 20% off using my code after deadline. But yeah, there's a link in the description. It's Fantasy Football Hub, but yeah, go via my link, because then it tells the hub that the promotion has worked, and that I'm doing a good job, and I actually am promoting their website. So yeah. So there we go. Go check that out. Link in my description to go to the Opta tool stat. Have a play around. Have a figure out. I'm actually, you know what? I'm going to change. The URL to something else. Right, I'm going to change the URL, the link in the description to go straight to the where you get your money off, your subscription. So I'm changing our video description now, so you get your money off if you want to go for it, if you want to try it out. But it does really help out the channel. Obviously, this is my full-time job, so we do have to do a couple of sponsorships and promotions to keep ourselves afloat sometimes, which hopefully is okay with you guys. Right, let's get back to FPL, because that is what we are here for. That's what we are here for. So, Jamie Crawley with a super chat says benching either Bailey, Neto, or Martinelli. Which, I've said this a few times, and this really is a really big tip. If you are going to bench one of these players, they all have good fixtures in game week 1. If you are prepared to bench these players in good fixtures, then why do you have them at all? Do you kind of get what I mean? You may as well just downgrade them to whoever you're not going to play, just downgrade them to a 4.5 million midfielder and just bench them permanently. Because if you're not going to play Bailey in game week 1, you're never going to play him. If you're not going to play Neto in game week 1, you're never going to play him. If you're not going to play Martinelli in game week 1, well then maybe Martinelli doesn't have as strong as a fixture, but if you have Martinelli, you've got to play him. So yeah, that is my advice to you guys. If you are thinking of benching the likes of Bailey or Neto, then you have to question why they're in your team at all. Are you actually ever going to play them? Because if you're not going to play them in the good fixtures, when are you going to play them? You may as well save the money. Baha says, why Robertson? You can buy a mid from Liverpool or save. Yeah, or are we doubting Robertson now? Are we got to that stage? Robertson's a class player. He's such a good. In fact, I think he was maybe like the third highest scoring player in FPL for the second half of last season, despite the fact that he missed like 5 games, and he still the only two players that outscored Robertson in the second half of last season, despite the fact that Robertson played less minutes, were Son and De Bruyne. So, phenomenal FPL asset, and I won't have any words otherwise. I won't have any words otherwise. People are asking about Perisic still. You know, like, if you don't like Perisic, don't go for it. In fact, you know what? What I probably should do is just put Reece James in for the sake of the stream so people stop worrying about him, because I don't want to influence people to get Perisic. So I'm going to put Reece James in there. Then no one will be worrying about Perisic, because I don't want to give you bad advice. James is obviously the sensible choice out of the two. So let's put James there, and we can quell that question, because otherwise I'll spend this whole stream just talking about Perisic. Femi says, which would you pick? Ramsdale, Perisic and Martinelli, or Ward, Walker and Mount? Definitely the first one. Ramsdale, Perisic and Martinelli. Not about Ward in goal. I'm not about that life. Count Seedor reckons we should say that that Robertson is overrated. Apparently I've got exactly the same team as Holly Shand, which is pretty mad. She's a very good FPL manager. Very good. Exactly the same team. People saying this looks better. Yes, that's why I did it. I want it to look better. This is not my team. This is my crowd-pleasing team. In fact, should I go even more crowd-pleasing and put Haaland in instead of Kane? What other thing are people questioning? Raya, they're questioning my goalkeeper. All right, if I switch Raya out for... if I switch Raya out for Sanchez and I switch out Kane for Haaland, I guarantee that no one comments on my team, and everyone will be like, "Oh yeah, that team looks about right. I like that." So yeah, this is my this is my team, my showman team, my crowd pleasing team, and now no one's gonna have any complaints about this one. And then when I end the stream, I'm gonna change it back. I'm gonna change it right back to what it was before. Can you match your socks with your team t-shirt? No, I cannot. I know what you mean, my team's kit. It's because this channel, the branding, is dark purple, green, and blue, and white. So that's the colours. We've got to get in that little bit of blue in there somewhere. Part of the branding. Oh, for God's sake. Now people are saying, why Haaland? People are saying this is boring. You can't win. You cannot win. There is no winning. There is no winning. You can't. It's impossible to make an FPL team without people saying, "Ooh, why have you gone for that player? Oh, what are you doing? That's boring. Oh, that's a bit risky, don't you think? Oh, that player's not going to do very well." I can't win. Right. Fine. Okay, we'll switch. It's the overriding theory seems to be we need to switch Haaland back out for Kane. So Kane's coming back in. Kane. Right. Is this the ultimate crowd pleasing team yet? Is everyone? Can we all unanimously agree? Oh, we need. Okay, sorry. We need to change Patterson. I apologise. We need to change Patterson. Come on. We can't be messing about here. I don't know why I'm putting the word Nico in. Right. Now we've got Nico in for Patterson. There we go. Right. The crowd-pleasing team. There we go. Everyone is happy. Right? Everyone's happy with this team? FPL top 10k says, why are you being so dramatic? I am not. I'm joking around. Don't worry. I'm not actually serious. I'm not actually bothered. It's just, it's a bit... We like to have a bit of fun in these streams. I think people sometimes come over to the FPL Mate streams and think, what on earth is happening here? What? We do things differently. We do things differently over here. We have a bit of fun. And when I get into a hyperactive mood, the fun don't stop till I say it stops. Okay, super chat from the Luke Guy 7, who says, preferred your old team. Absolute legend, mate. G vibe. Thank you, Luke, for the super chat. I appreciate you, dude. But this team is the crowd. This is the crowd pleasing team. This is This is the crowd pleasing stream. Council Law says, imagine if FPL stopped working until deadline and I was stuck with my crowd pleasing team. Damn. Get back Haaland. This team is rubbish. All right, come on. Let's get back on topic now. Let's get back on topic. We've had our fun. But now, yeah, I think, maybe the only change I would maybe put is like Martinelli instead of Saka. If I was to go for like a super template, super crowd pleasing, Martinelli is probably worth a shout in there somehow. I don't really know how I'd finance that though. Colin says, why are you wearing a Nigeria jersey? Because I am 1/4 Nigerian. 1/4 Nigerian. Archer or Plange? Good point. Good point. I mean, I do prefer Archer. I think Archer's got a better chance of getting some game time. But if we're crowd pleasing, we've got to put Sam Greenwood in. If we're trying to appeal to the masses, we've got to appeal to the masses. We want to get as many people subscribed as possible. And now we're doing it. It's looking good. All right, guys. I think we do some quick team ratings before we end the stream because I've got to go. I've got to go for a haircut. I've got to, shower, get ready. Disappearing off to London to go to Fantasy Football Fest. I asked this earlier when we just first started the stream, but again, is there anyone here who is going to Fantasy Football Fest? If so, let me know. Real talk, Dan. Where is your squash? I don't have any. We ran out of squash last night. I'm devastated. So I'm on the water. Is this a real team or crowd pleasing? This is definitely crowd pleasing. If you want my real team, I made a video and put it up last night. Okay, right. Let's do some rating my teams. So what, guys, I'm going to do is I am going to. In fact, I've got a fantastic idea. Right, let's play a prank on Raptor. Right, we're gonna play a prank on FPL Raptor. What we're gonna do is I'm gonna rate all of the teams that are replying to this tweet. So everyone, this is gonna be hilarious. Everyone, go to at FPL__Raptor and reply to this tweet with a screenshot of your team, and I'm going to try and rate as many of those teams as possible. I'm sorry, I am funny. I am funny. I am the funniest FPL creator. That's just a fact. Because this is hilarious. Alright, guys. Reply to this tweet with a screenshot of your team, and I will try and get through some of them. In the meantime, we have got a super chat. Nick Warren says Saka for Martinelli and Andreas for Rashford. It really depends. Like, are you being forced to play Andreas right now? If one of these players is going to be a bench player, then I wouldn't bother spending the extra money on a bench player. No. Right, guys, did you do it? Did you do it? If I refresh this. He's gonna be so confused. He's gonna be so confused. That is amazing. Fair play, guys. Excellent job. Let's rate some of these teams. Oh, amazing work. I'm just waiting for his DM. All right, okay, let's go through some of these teams. So, yeah, thank you guys for helping me out with this prank. I thought it was a good one. I think we'll reward Raptor later. We'll raid his stream a little bit later on. When we finish here, we'll raid Raptor just to give him some good vibes. But yes, FPL Atsy says I'm in the stream. Nice to see it, mate. Your team looks I'm just gonna whiz through them quickly so we can get through as many as possible. Yeah, Atsy, I like your team. The only thing I don't like is Neto. Like I keep saying, if you're benching a player like Neto in a fixture that good, are you ever going to play him? And if not, you may as well downgrade him. Or swap him with Bailey and downgrade Bailey to a 4.5. Yeah, that's what I would do there. Emil, team is looking Very good, my friend. Yep, love it. Love that team. Decent. Other than the 2 4 million goalkeepers, that's my only problem with that team. But I guess you'd have to downgrade Neto to Bailey and then upgrade Iverson probably to a Raya, a Sanchez, someone like that. Maybe a Melia. One from V here. The team looks, again, well, Martinelli and Arison, why are they in your team if you're going to bench them? If you're going to bench these players, then there's no point in having them. So again, there seems to be a recurring theme here. Downgrade your bench players. If you're not going to play a Martinelli and an Arison in a game week like this, you're never going to play them, and it's a waste of money. So get them away. You're not going to get enough game time out of them. We've got another one here from FPL Spice. Oh, I love a bit of spice, mate. Love a bit of spice. Team looks good. No problems with this team whatsoever. Looks good, mate. I think you're ready to go. Joe has got this team. Again, we've got Ward and Iverson. Really risky. You're stuck with a Leicester goalkeeper, and one of them may rotate, or not rotate, but one of them. Leicester might buy a new goalkeeper, is what I'm trying to say. Or if they don't, even if they don't, you're probably going to concede quite a lot of goals and not get many points for your goalkeeper. So spend that extra 0.5 in my opinion. No Salah is interesting, but look, I don't hate it. I like De Bruyne as well. If you feel like you can captain Son game week 1 and De Bruyne game week 2, then perhaps that covers your Salah there. So not bad. We've got a team from Hit and Miss. Looks pretty good. Look good. You're good to go, mate. Wait, no, it's another. Oh no, you got Sanchez on the bench. Okay, you're good to go. You're good to go. Steve is, can't see his bench, but Steve, mate, you're good to go, mate. CFC Adam, let's have a look. You're obviously a Chelsea fan, as I can see by your name, and you're double Chelsea. I don't really like double Chelsea, but I don't hate it either. Oh, you got triple Chelsea. Okay, yeah, I do hate that. Switch out Mendy for Ramsdale, and then you're good to go. Well played. Shloon says, got double Leicester goal. Another double goal. Double 4 million goalkeeper. No, not for me. Don't like double Leicester goalkeeper thing. That's just a personal preference. Maybe I should just let you guys get on with it, though, to be fair, because everyone seems to disagree with me. Mahrez, I think, is really risky as well, but I mean, not the worst. I would switch Mahrez out for Saka, personally. Owen, is that how you spell that? Pronounce that name? Looking good to go, my friend. Good to go. Ben. Good to go. Wait, yeah, good to go. Looks good. Side Hustler. Yeah, Zinchenko, a bit of a differential there. Like it. Good to go. Oliver is... looking good. Looking good. Another Oliver. More than one Olivers. Ramsdale. Yep, looking good, my friend. You're good to go. Manish. I don't know if this is good content, by the way, or not. Not so keen on this one. Bruno Guimaraes, I think, is a bad pick. He's going to be playing at defensive midfielder because Shelvey is out at the moment. And also, after Nottingham Forest, the fixtures for an attacker are just not good for Newcastle. So unless you're going for a Newcastle defender, I definitely would not go for a Newcastle attacker, particularly not one that's going to be playing in defensive midfield. So don't like Bruno. And also, Cash... Like I keep saying, if you're going to bench a player like Matty Cash in a phenomenal fixture, almost the best possible fixture against Bournemouth, then you're not going to play him against anyone. So, yeah, Cash, there's absolutely no reason for you to spend 5 million on a bench player if you're not even going to play him in a fixture like that. So I would downgrade Cash, and that gives you an opportunity to upgrade Bruno Guimaraes. So that is what I would do with that team. Let's do a refresh to see if anyone else has come in with some more teams. Oh, we've got Count Seelor in the Hizay. People saying this is good content. All right, good. All right, good. Okay, so Count Seelor. What have you got? What have you got for me? Do you need Walker? When are you going to play Walker? I guess game week 2. But then who are you going to bench? This is the thing. Who are you going to bench in game week 2 for Walker? I have no doubt that you have thought about this, and maybe I don't understand what your plan is yet, but it feels like there's no player there that I would be happy to bench in game week 2. Maybe Neto, but even that, not really. Yeah, again, if you're benching money, when are you going to play that player? United Ben has got a team that is... good to go. Rashford as a differential. Like it. Des Wilcox put a super chat in here as well. Mahrez, Grealish or Foden. None of them, in my opinion. I would not go for any of those 3 players. To be fair. Okay, so wait. So Sky is saying he benches Zinchenko in Game Week 2, but in Game Week 2, Arsenal play someone easy, don't they? Yeah, they play against Leicester at home. That's not a bad fixture. I mean, I guess you could, but I don't know. I've already thought this through. Yeah, like I say, you know, the thing is that's always difficult when you're rating teams is you're just looking at a snapshot and you don't really know the strategy and stuff behind it. So, yeah, I'm sure you've got it figured out. Yeah, I just couldn't see it instantly. All right, let's have another look. Joshua, you are good to go. Are you good to go? I mean, I don't like the 3 premiums really, and I don't like that you've got your captain's armband on Jesus. Make sure you change that, Joshua, before you go. Make sure you change that captain's armband. I don't like 3 premium teams. I don't like 3 premiums personally, but in terms of a team with 3 premium players, I've seen worse. So we'll perhaps let you off. FPL United, Ethan says is good to go. Yeah, look good, mate. Looks good. Jandre, your team is nice. I like it. He's a 3-mium. He's a 3-mium. Yeah, that's good for a 3-mium. Oh wait, no, you've got Doherty. He needs to go. Doherty needs to go. Yeah, very unlikely to play. I would just downgrade, like, you could downgrade Ramsdale to a 4.5. It probably, if you're going to go for 3 premiums, it's probably a better idea to go for a cheaper goalkeeper because you're going to want to have as much money free to move around in the rest of your team as possible. So yeah, I'll downgrade Ramsdale and upgrade Doherty. And then you've got an actually fairly decent 3-mium team. But I still don't like 3-mium teams. All right, let's do another refresh, guys. It's just going to show me the same teams again, apparently. All right, let's scroll down. Just get up to a random point. So we've got Callum, who is got a decent FPL team. I'm not fully sold on Kulusevski, but a bit of a differential. Why not? Yeah, like your team, my friend. Looks good. Jägermeister 2 template, he says. I'm guessing it's a he. Could be a she. 2 template. There's no such thing as 2 template. Template's template for a reason. Looking good, my friend. Ron, FC Barcelona, you are ready to go. I think you're looking good. Wait, let's look at the bench. Yeah, looks good, my friend. Looks good. It's pretty much my team. In fact, it is exactly my team, but James instead of Perisic. I'll tell you what, guys. If James outscores Perisic in Game Week 1, you guys are going to absolutely mud me. You guys are absolutely going to mud me. CFC Adam, we already had a look at yours. Let's scroll down to another random point. To sorts FPL, if that loads. Einar is showing off how long he's been a member for. Oh yeah, you get the 12-month member badge soon. Quite soon. Jandra says, hey, thanks Dan. Doherty to Perisic then. Yeah, that's probably what I would do personally. Ward, Alexander-Arnold, Robertson, Cancelo. Yeah. It's okay. It's pretty good. You know what? It's not very flexible, but aside from that, yeah, I kind of like it. Yeah, I kind of like it. For a 3-mium team, again, some people have like 3-mium teams that are actually not bad. Milan DB says, thoughts on Almiron, or should I find the 0.5 for Neto? I would rather go for Bailey, but if you already have Bailey and you have Almiron, then maybe find the 0.5, because I don't think you want to have Bailey and Almiron. So there you go. Look at these memberships. Ethan Fernandez, 19 months. That's pretty mad, you know. That's pretty mad. Thank you so much for sticking with me this long, Ethan. To be fair, I remember, Ethan. I remember you like chatting in the chat in the early days, like when we probably only had like 30,000 subscribers at the time, which is still a lot, but you're like one of the OGs, my friend. One of the OGs. I appreciate that. Okay, this team looks good. Ashwin, you look good. Alfonso, I'm gonna have to squint for this one. Quite far away, that team. But it looks it looks good. Yeah, a bit. I like. You got a couple of differentials in there. You got Vardy. A little bit of a differential. I don't mind it. Carl, double, Leicester, goalkeeper, swine. Couple of interesting differentials in there. Dallo, Aronson, Sancho. Don't hate it. Don't hate it. Let's have a look at Moisky. Don't see many 3-5-2 formations this year. That is a little bit different. But it looks good. Yeah, I like it. I like your team. Razkai, let's have a look at this one. Yep, looking good. Looking good, depending on what's on your bench, I suppose. Lucas. Yep. Pretty much exactly the same team as me. So, how can I complain? Let's go to another random one. FPL Dynamite. Mike, I'm going to assume this is serious and not a troll, and I'm going to try and take this as seriously as I can. This is one of the most clapped team I've ever seen in my life. Yeah, this is. Yeah. Oh, it's a bench boost. I don't know if that helps. I mean, if it's a bench boost, it's just a lie, because you're not really benching Vardy, are you? You're benching. Your bench boost is Bailey, Almiron, and Dyer. That is your bench boost is actually Mendy, Dyer, Almiron, and Bailey, all on. No, it's probably maybe even Zaha. This. No, I don't like it. I said like loads, but I'll say it again. I know some of you guys are not going to trust me on this, but save your bench boost for later on in the season. Like, genuinely save your bench boost for later on in the season. Yes, this team might score 70 points this week, might score 80 points, but later on in the season, you're going to have so many better opportunities to have a bench boost where all of your bench all has double game weeks. We have got some good options here. Don't get me wrong. We have got some interesting bench options. Like, but if you were to rearrange this bench and put players on the bench who would actually bench, then it wouldn't look so good. It wouldn't look so good. And you're forcing yourself to wildcard in game week 2. You force yourself to. I don't think it is a troll. If people are saying it's a troll, I don't think it is. I think because I have seen a lot of people saying, "Okay, I'm going to bench boost game week 1 and then going into game week 2, I'm going to wildcard." I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like it. I'm sorry, I don't like it. Yeah, this is a start again kind of team. I'm sorry for the roast. But you put your team in FPL Mate stream. Be prepared for a little bit of gentle ribbing. People spamming in the chat. Cucurella to Chelsea confirmed. Is that actually confirmed? Shall we verify that? Wait, where would I even find that information? Who's released it? I'm guessing it's not on the Chelsea. What? What? So, hang on. So, what was it, yesterday? No, not yesterday. Not last night, but the night before. Brighton literally tweeted that Cucurella was staying. And now he's literally not just making a transfer, but already sat there in a Chelsea kit. He's been announced. People said he's been announced. What? That is a fantastic tweet. Fair play. Not a Chelsea fan, but that deserves a like because that is funny. That is some great banter. Have Brighton deleted their tweet? Because that is absolutely embarrassing, man. That is so embarrassing. Like, they have really kind of made themselves... Like, have they deleted the tweet? It would have been like, I don't know, like... No! Like, what the... let's put a sarcastic reply. Nice lie. Can I do better than that? What's a funny reply we could put in there? What's the name of the owner of Brighton? Brighton Hove Albion owner. Can't remember what his name is. Tony Bloom. There we go. There we go. All right. Should we go? Let's rate like a few more teams, and then I'm gonna go. That's not how you spell Raptor. Let's rate a few more teams that have been on. How many? We spammed him with 250 replies. That is so funny. Oh, I can't believe that. He's gonna be so confused. Right, few more. Harsh sheets. Team looks good, my friend. Juice 1G. Yeah, again, we've got Martinelli on the bench. If you're gonna bench him, don't have him. Or just transfer one of your players to him in game week 2, maybe. Walter. I am Walter. Team looks good, I think. Yeah, I like that. We've looked at your team already, I think, CFC Adam. Bozidar. Team. Yeah, again, we've got this benching. Like, this is a trend, isn't it? People are just putting so much money on the bench. But there we go. We're going to leave it there, guys. We're going to leave it there. We will be back later. We'll be back later. I'm going to stream. I'm going to fire up the stream again from my Airbnb in London at like 5:30, probably. Maybe slightly early, maybe slightly late. But we'll be doing a stream later on. Before you go, guys, make sure you do leave a like. I will appreciate that a lot. Do subscribe if you haven't done already. I do appreciate all of you watching. And before we go, one more thing. We're gonna do obviously we played a little prank on Ross today. And I believe anyway, he is streaming. So let's give him a raid. So I'm gonna oh crap, what is that? That's the wrong URL. Right, there we go. I'm gonna copy and paste his link in the chat. Let's raid Ross and give him some good vibes, give him some new viewers, and hopefully that helps. Yeah, aside from that, yeah, I'll be back on later. I'll catch you guys over on Twitter. I'll be tweeting and stuff for the next few hours. Go raid Raptor. He's the second best person streaming right now, so you may as well move over there. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys. And I will see you later, mates. Where's my outro thing? Here it is. Right, see you in a couple of hours, guys. Love you guys. Amazing. Like, subscribe. Bye. See you in like 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours. Bye.